H-O-T-T-O-T-O. You can take me hard to go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. Live at 6:15 Eastern, we are here in Heidi Powell's living room to live our lives out loud and proud and talk about celebrities like CHappell Roan and celebrities in wannabes like Heidi Powell. Sorry, Heidi. But you know it's true. Girl, you know that's true. Girl, you know you're not a real big celebrity. Come on. We love celebrities, but we know you are not a big one. You are a C-list. You are an I-list influencer category, which is better than me. I'm a Z-list influencer, which means that I'm making content to no avail, to no success monetarily, and that is worse. That is across the board worse. So everyone should just quit this video and go watch a Heidi Powell tutorial, and you'll learn much more about life.
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, here's some. I don't have new sound bites. But maybe I do.
I grew up in the forest.
Whoa, that's a new one.
People are going to be eating their kids tomorrow.
Breaking news. Breaking news, guys.
We literally are a disaster.
Everyone in the United States.
We are now live, mofos.
Okay, so we have quite the lineup today. We have two powerhouse boss babes to talk about. We got CHappell Roan and we got Heidi Powell. I know some people want me to talk about Rachel Hollis, and I, of course, want to talk about Rachel Hollis as well, as always, and I never get sick of the topic. However, I'm waiting for her podcast episode to come out with Blogilates, which is the podcast she recorded during the Rise conference. So I think we should hold the Rise conference coverage until that podcast comes out. It just makes more sense. And I had to just piecemeal together the content anyway, so it's worth it to save it, I think, for another day. But there is a Heidi Powell video that just came up that was recorded last year that apparently is hot piping tea and is like not on any platforms other than Spotify. So we're going to listen to that. But first, we're going to start our night, I should say, with CHappell Roan, okay? If you're not familiar, she's a pop diva, and emphasis on the diva, okay? And I have mixed feelings about her.
She looks scary.
Do you agree? I have mixed feelings about her because what she says is true. The things that she's annoyed with and bothered by are true. However, is she being honest about her experiences? I don't know. And is she being honest about her past? I definitely don't know that. So we're going to explore her a little bit because she's been in the zeitgeist recently. She's been in pop culture, and I think it is a phenomenon. I think that's one of her songs, right? Not phenomenon. It's a phenomenon that celebrities want to appear poor or coming from a poor background because it makes them hashtag relatable? Question mark? Oops.
What's the best recipe for fried chicken?
I want to be relatable.
That's the one I was looking for. What happened to dinosaurs, though? Actually, what did happen to dinosaurs?
What happened to dinosaurs?
And also,
Do you know what a Capri Sun is?
do you even know what a Capri Sun is? CHappell Roan probably doesn't because apparently she's got more money than she's ever claimed. Now, I didn't follow her very closely. I've heard about her multiple controversies. I obviously like some of her songs. The Pink Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing at. I thought for the longest time that song was Big Booty Club, and I was singing it as such. I want to keep on dancing at the Big Booty Club. And I was like, that's where I get in for free, girl. that's where the bouncers be letting me in for free at the Big Booty Club. And then I found out it was Pink Pony. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. Not what I originally thought, but, you know, here we go. So she's been famous for a while, and she's been telling her story, her origin story, as she came from a trailer park, that she didn't have money for health insurance after she got dropped from her label when she was a teenager. And she's only 28 right now, currently. So she's fairly young and has been famous for several years. So this is it's not like, oh, back in the 70s she was really up and coming and on her own. It seems like it's a fabrication, is what it's coming out to be. And we'll talk about her controversies as well. But I think it's interesting, again, because she makes some decent points. I think politically she's very outspoken for the most part and not MAGA at all. She's like very pro-left ideals. And she's open about it, which I appreciate, someone being open about their beliefs and just sticking to what they believe in. So I think that's cool. She dropped her talent agency because they were involved in the Epstein files. So, you know, there's some positive qualities, I think, to this performer and for her to take a social stand. However, I do think, excuse me, I'm snorting out my nose. I do think it's performative, and it can be performative, especially if you're treating people in your day-to-day life and existence rudely, but then advocating for other people. It doesn't equal out, I don't think. If you're advocating for people, but then you're treating everyone badly, I think I'd rather just be treated nicely. And then you can save your advocacy for, you know, your private affairs. But first, before we get into this, Asari Shepherd, thank you so much. Asari Shepherd says, Big Boots Club. That could be it too. That could be it too. Booty, boots, hey. Yeah. All I gotta say is...
a rectal insertion.
Hey, I got a story about a rectal insertion if you want to hear it.
They're going to be dropping some really powerful, amazing, life-changing shiz.
Mm-hmm.
I do number 2.
Thank you, Asari. Okay, let me open up the stream also before we get too deep into this, into the lore. And I think... Okay, no, there's nothing else to read. Okay, I'm caught up. Thank you, everybody. All right, so here is CHappell Roan, and CHappell's not her real name. Her name is actually a stage name, and that is kind of important because she says because she has a stage name, that is her setting boundaries with her fans to like not approach her in public. We're going to talk about the controversy that she got involved in with a child this week, and how that all unfolded. But CHappell is the name of her grandpa. Okay, which is also kind of an important part of her story because her grandpa, who is now passed away, is a rich man, apparently. Now, how much money he has is unclear, or had is unclear, but based on his obituary, he was a pilot, which tends to mean you have some money, right? You're able to fly planes and afford that. Okay, you're not completely desolate. He owned a country club. Okay, to be fair, the country club that he owned, not the best. It's got a, you know, I'll show it to you. Here it is, Silo Ridge. Okay, it's got a silo on it, so, you know. Is it Laguna Beach Golf Club? Golf Center? No, but it is still a country club, which tends to mean you have some money, right? He also owned an insurance company that now is worth multi-millions of dollars. Now, he died in 2019, I believe. I pulled up his... Well, I went deep into this lore. Sorry, 2016. So up until 2016, he was an owner of this insurance company, so it seems. So this is not, again, like he had this in the 50s and things changed and it has no relevance. If you're owning or partly owning a insurance company in 2016, I'm assuming you have some wealth to you, to your name and to your family. And she's also got an uncle who's like in the Senate. So anyways, it's just to say she's many times claimed she lived in a trailer park. She didn't have money. She's poor. She doesn't like rich people. Seems like you were in that group, personally. Asari Shepherd says, girl, like, don't bother me, LOL. Yeah, that is a direct quote from CHappell Roan. Just leave me alone. But also this is my gripe with this. She says, leave me alone. Fine. I agree. People should be left alone. Parasocial relationships are not real relationships. If you don't want to be talked to, you don't deserve to be harassed. However, if you wear the most audacious outfits to draw attention to yourself, like the biggest hat in the world, and then people come up to you and go, can I take a picture with you because you have the largest hat in the world, and then you get mad at people, that's where it's unfair to me. Is it fair to wear the world's largest hat and then not expect people to want to take a picture with it?
No.
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 Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, sorry, I'm with you. I agree, but your makeup and your hats can't be over the top, because then it's not even that people need to respect. It's just we're dum-dums, you know? If you have a pretty color, if you're wearing neon, shiny neon, we're all going to go up to you and go, who are you? Are you famous? And I think you just need to, assume that that's going to happen. And at a certain point after being bothered, you have to kind of take a little responsibility and go, how can I help this situation? As opposed to yelling at people and yelling at kids and causing a ruckus. Okay, so this is her grandfather, CHappell, Dennis CHappell. So that's where she got her stage name from. Okay, so and here he is. Okay, where should we start? Okay, let's start on this. This is kind of the new information about her rich story. So she was outed as a hypocrite as her secretly rich family and privileged background is revealed amid backlash over hotel drama that left Jude Law's daughter in tears. Okay, so here is the hypocrisy according to the Daily Mail, which is, of course, never wrong ever. Okay, so sharing details of her background on social media, one user penned, "Oh wow, CHappell might come from more money than any other pop girl," while another added, "Oh, CHappell comes from money, OMG." Now, I don't think she's got more money than Taylor Swift's family, to be fair. I don't think she's specifically more rich than other pop stars, but I think she's definitely over-exaggerating her poorness in the past. Says her outspoken statements can be rather contradictory after she called out her disdain for the Grammys in 2022 before going on to win a prestigious award 3 years later. Okay, so let's look at that video. Here it is. So this is from 2022, and she basically says the Grammys is for rich people, fuck them, and, basically, insinuating that she was not rich herself, and that if she ever won a Grammy, which she does later, a couple years after this video, she would handle it a certain way.
The best, but I just immediately connected with him, and we've been working for 4 years.
That's crazy. And let's talk about this too. I heard that
apparently microphones weren't invented in 2022. Sorry.
You wanted to be a musician because I think you were watching the Grammys when you were younger. But I was on your TikTok live last week.
Please!
You're like, if I won a Grammy, I'm not showing up. And so tell me.
I know, I say that all the time. Go fuck the Grammys.
Why though?
Wait, that's a fucking talent show for rich people.
I agree.
And I hope they hear this. No, my mom, look, I would have to, go to the Grammys, because my grandfather, CHappell, who I named myself after, would be very upset with me if I didn't, do that,
Yeah.
So I think I would go, but it would be, I would do some sort of protest in, an outfit or, something.
I would do, says, fuck the Grammys.
I would do, yeah. I would be like, fuck the Grammys. This is a joke. And then I'd walk off stage.
That's great. And you've...
Okay, before I give my 2 cents on this, I want to say thanks to Libs Living Life. Libs Living Life. Thank you so much. They say, yay, stream, non-parasocial hugs, Kia. Seeing her playing up her poor upbringing is sending me. Hicktown, Missouri doesn't claim her. Hicktown, Missouri, do you claim CHappell Roan?
No.
No. Wow. Wow.
People want their news from flawless, beautiful faces.
Oh, that's a throwback. We haven't heard that one in a while.
Kim Kardashian.
My eyebrow stays on.
Man.
I'm outside the Cheesecake Factory waiting for it to open.
They are grifters.
That's all for you, libs living life. Okay, so I remember AOC went to the Met Gala and had a gown that said something like tax the rich or something, which, great. I love the sentiment. But the fact that you're at the Met Gala, I don't think that's a strong enough protest. And I feel the same thing. You're at the Grammys, you hate the Grammys, you're accepting the Grammy. Your protest is really muted for me. I think it would be really cool if you actually did win a Grammy and then didn't go and said, the reason I'm not going is because of this issue and da-da-da. But that rarely ever happens. So let's watch her Grammy acceptance speech. So this is from 2025, from 1 year ago in February. She won Best New Artist. Now, she said she would wear a crazy outfit in protest. So maybe this outfit was a protest, because I thought this is a person, in my opinion, who wants the attention on them as much as possible, given this outfit. There's many things you could wear that you can blend into a crowd. This is not the thing I would choose if I wanted to just blend in. So here is, and I haven't watched this to be fair. I know what she's wearing, but I don't know what she actually says. This is her big protest, okay? Supporting her. Okay, there's Beyonce's daughter who's 12. How come people who are 12, girls who are 12 years old, are in full overlord? What do they call it? District 1? The ones where they're all rich? That's what she is screaming out loud to me. Okay. And country club owner. So again, if she's shouting him out at the Grammys, I'm assuming there's a relationship there, and most likely there was money left for her behind, at the very least, if not more support. And Asari Shepherd, thank you so much. Asari Shepherd says, Glenda with a princess hat? LOL. Yes!
If we are to torque fascia on the butthole.
Wow.
My mouth is so bored.
Wow.
Feels like penis.
Wow. Sorry, I'm in a very precarious soundbite area.
I'm really good at making money.
So true.
I'm really good at making money.
So true.
Sounds too good to be true, right?
Those are my friends who try to get me fired. Thank you, Asari. And thank you to Amy, LX8RN. Amy says, they hate the rich winners until they become one. Yeah, I agree. This is what, oh, sorry, I'll put your comment up here. This is what all poor people need to become rich. This sound right here.
Transmute, sending it to source, light.
Oh, yes,
Wow. Wow, we got lots of light language tonight. One more for the road. God, we're going to be fluent by the end of this. Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. Yes, I agree. And it's typical. Once you become a part of the group, now you want to stay in the group, and you feel it's an Animal Farm. It's an Animal Farm book. It's exactly what once you get into power, then you all of a sudden are fine with it. Anyways, okay. Where the point of contention is right there, like her insistence on what she's saying is true, honestly, but she's not the one who's got the lived experience, so it seems. So that's why I'm torn. It's like the message is correct, I believe, that artists should have a livable wage and should have health insurance. And honestly, the whole country should have health insurance, so we don't have to worry about having a job to be able to live and be healthy. But anyways, we already know that's how most people feel. But is that true that she couldn't afford health insurance? Most likely not. And that's even more annoying, I think, because it's like people who are signed to record labels likely have some, unless you're just extremely talented and went to a talent show and someone saw you and you got through, you probably have industry connections, some nepotism, the ability, your parents put you through a program, they put you in a school that you're learning, you're meeting people, you're networking. Like, it's not a meritocracy in this world. We've come to find that out. Like, the Jonas Brothers, I think, I don't even remember exactly, but they were like put in, I don't know. Let's not even talk to Jonas Brothers. Forget it. But anyways, this is, she's already outside of, by saying this, which is not even true, someone who probably could have gotten signed that early in life. She seems to have had a special life to be able to even get as far as she did. And for her saying, I'm just like everyone else, is not even true. Does that make sense? Again, I feel like I'm caught somewhere in between like, hell yeah, girlfriend, tell him, yes, preach. And also, why'd you have to add the part in that's not true? And then I feel, oh my gosh, this is Mel Robbins. This is Mel Robbins. Her lived experience isn't accurate. You just make it up. You just make it up to make your story sound better, and no one will question it, apparently. Okay, let's jump ahead to what happened most recently. And this is why she's in the news again. And then we'll go backwards a little bit. So this is the latest incident with the child that happened in Brazil.
I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me.
CHappell Roan is speaking out after Brazilian soccer player Jorginho Frello accused the singer's security team of making his 11-year-old stepdaughter cry. On Saturday, March 21st, Frello, who is married to Catherine Harding, took to his Instagram story to claim that his daughter, a fan of Rowan's, was shaken after the pop star's security chastised her for walking by Rowan's table as they dined at the same hotel in Sao Paulo ahead of Rowan's Lollapalooza Brazil set. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist she really admires or used to admire at CHappell Roan. By coincidence, they're staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. The worst part is, she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, smiled, and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything, didn't ask for anything, he alleged in the post, which featured a picture of his daughter's sign. He went on to claim that a large security guard then came up and began speaking with his daughter and wife in an extremely aggressive manner, saying, quote, that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past a table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He even said he would file a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot, he added in part. Further in his statement, Frello wrote, "It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who built all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child." He then directly referenced the singer, saying, "Without your fans, you would be nothing," before adding, "And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection." On Sunday, March 22nd, the pop star responded to the accusations in videos posted to her Instagram, sharing her side of the story, as she claimed she did not ask security to go and speak with them and that it was not her personal security.
But who was it? That's what I'm wondering. And the security guard made a post, so we'll read that too. But it falls totally in line with her very aggressive, anti-talking to me, don't even look at me at an airport mindset. And I get it again that it's, your privacy, but if you're in a public space, people are allowed to film. People are allowed to do whatever they want. Do you have to agree with it? No. But is it legally allowed? Yes. So, anyways.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. No one came up to me. No one bothered me. I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken.
She went on to say that she doesn't hate her fans or children before apologizing for the encounter they experienced.
I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
Plus, after the pop star released her video, Harding, who shares her daughter with ex-Jude Law, also entered the conversation.
I know that CHappell has responded saying that it wasn't that it wasn't her security and that she didn't do it. So 100% this security guard was not a security guard of the hotel. That's what I can say. He looks after artists. So I don't know if it was her personal security guard, but he was with her. So that is all I know.
And it seems like, we're going to watch a clip from TikTok in a second that shows that, you know how you say like, well, maybe she didn't give a direct order. Like if you're at a company and it's like the CEO might not have given the direct order to execute something, but based on all of the other context clues, there's a person on the staff that did take an action that, you know, over time that person learned that's what the CEO wants me to do. Does that make sense? And they're in the court of law and they're trying to figure out who's responsible. I feel like maybe technically she didn't tell the security guard, get that child away from me, and, you know, got the kid, made her cry. But maybe the directive, my guess here would be the directive at the beginning of, hey, you are now CHappell Roan's security team. If anyone looks in her direction, you address it aggressively and push them back and make sure they're not getting close by, and you know, handle all these potential risks with extreme aggressiveness. That might have been the general vibe that they were told. So when he noticed this little girl coming up and taking a peek at CHappell while she eats breakfast, he took it upon himself to act on her behalf because he thought, this is what I've been told to do based on my, you know, being employed here. Now, again, she's claiming no, so we'll take her at her word, but that's what I'm guessing because, again, we'll show the clip in a sec. Actually, I'll show it right now. We'll go back to this, where she's walking by in an airport. And where is it? This one? Yeah. And it looks like there's a different security guard, and we don't need the audio, that spots this person recording. Again, in an airport, technically it's a private space, but there's no expectation at an airport that you are fly private then. You know, if you have an expectation that no one in the airport can record anything that you might be walking through, I don't think you should be flying in a public, it's not a public space, it's a private company, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how can, I'll show it, but it's like aggressively angry that this person is recording. It's like, chill out. This person's far, far away from you. What's happening here? Anyways, here's the clip. So you see, I don't even recognize her at all, but okay. She's walking in an airport. Looks like she has multiple security. Okay, she's pointing forward at someone on their phone, seemingly recording, and this guy now is like, come here, and is going after whoever's recording. So all she did was this, and he's off to the races with an aggressive stance, so it seems, towards the person recording on their phone. I would guess that's probably what happened at this breakfast, like a someone's walking near me, someone's walking, better take care of it. And then the guy went off and did it. Is that what actually happened? I don't know. I wasn't in Brazil. I wish I was at La Palooza, whatever she was at a hotel with Jude Law's ex-wife. I wish that was my life. So all this is coming from jealousy, okay? In case you didn't know. And thank you to Mediocre Cauliflower. Thank you so much, Mediocre Cauliflower. I have been performing since age 6 and turned down 2 record deals because the industry is a trap. My last producer worked with Diddy. Oh, good, Diddy. I heard he's a great guy. Just kidding. When all that came out, I was like, damn, I dodged that bullet. Yeah, you could say that. You could say you dodged a bullet. I think people would agree. Was this the type of music you were singing?
Time for me, you, and all the nations to get us some elevation. Woo.
Was it like that? Or was it like this?
Uh-oh. Amen. Yippee. Oh, my.
Or was it like this?
As you laugh while you're getting ready for bed, instead of praying to God, you're praying, I'm dead.
I guess that's more poetry. Okay, what about this one? I don't even know what this one is.
How we gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall and get your backs up off the wall. Yeah.
I'm just assuming that's your type of music, and we appreciate you, mediocre cauliflower. And I'm sure your music is anything but mediocre. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so that's an example. Okay. Here's, before we go back, let's go. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's go back to this. Let's finish up this part.
Did she send him to do it? Again, I don't know. Look, I would like to hope not, but at the same time, I think that you have a responsibility when you are a celebrity to make sure, I guess, that the people that work for you and that act on your behalf are acting on your behalf. So would he do that if he didn't have her authority to do so? I don't know. If he does, then obviously that's a big problem, because then he's representing her in a way that she doesn't want to be represented. So I think that's really important for her to notice and realize that's not correct. I was shocked, and I did actually say to him at the time, I said, well, if this is the case that she doesn't even want people to look at her, she is very welcome to eat breakfast in her room, because this here is a public area and I am a paying guest as well as her. So if I want to walk past someone's table and look at them, I have every right to do so. I am not approaching her. I'm not doing anything to make her feel intimidated or nothing. Like, it's an 11-year-old child.
I agree. That's my stance,
Frollo's original statement had gone so viral that it even caught the attention of Eduardo Cavalier, the mayor of Rio de Janeiro, who ended up banning the singer from performing at the city's Todo Mundo no Rio music festival as long as he remains in office. I doubt that Shakira would do that. By the way, Frollo Jorginho, your little one is already the guest of honor from the organization in May, he added in his X post.
Okay. Taking a stance where it matters, not letting her perform at a different event. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's another one. Now, this is from her account, a mini documentary. Now, it's very artistic, very avant-garde. It's only 2 minutes, but it does. There was some controversy over this because of the image that she showed of it. Kind of makes it look like she lived in a shack, but then when you go through the actual images of the house, it's like a 7-bedroom home. So was this edited in such a way to make CHappell Roan seem more, again, relatable to people?
I want to be relatable.
She wants to be relatable. She wants to be from the Midwest. She wants to be from a small trailer park town for some reason. She thinks that's important to her branding. And now she's a princess or something. And apparently the house, though, is actually, let's see, Zillow. Let's see if I can pull it up. I saw it on TikTok earlier. Okay, who's to say that this is, okay, that's on Facebook. I don't believe anything that's on Facebook. Apparently she's got a $2.5 million mansion in Stratford now. Let me see. Childhood home. Well, let me play this while I look for this. Hold on.
Haley?
I never thought in a million years that I would ever have this job. In my head, it just didn't seem like it was even a possibility, because I live in Willard, Missouri. There's
Okay, here is that. Willard, Missouri. Small town. Okay, here's the image they
Didn't
used.
seem like it was even a possibility because
So to me, there's a satellite dish on the back that's visible. So to me, I'm like, this is a rich house. If you got a satellite dish, you're rich. Okay.
live in Willard, Missouri. There's 5,000 people there. There's more cows than people. Whenever I go back home, I like to be around my family, and I mostly just watch YouTube and play Wii with my friends. And then when I'm by myself, sometimes I play Sims. So true. It's hard leaving such a small town and coming to such a big place. When I go back to LA, I just don't feel as grounded as I do when I'm home. I got signed when I had just turned 17. I was still worried about oh my God, am I gonna go to prom? I just had no idea what to expect. It's really nerve-wracking releasing my music to the entire world because it's very personal. And it's about real things that happened to me, and all my thoughts are just laid out there for just everyone to see.
You guys know that this is not required of you being an artist. You don't have to do documentaries about yourself. That's a choice that you can make. You don't have to. This is not part of the blood oath that you take when you enter Hollywood's gates.
Honestly, all I want is for people to feel something when they hear it.
Dramatic.
My name is CHappell Roan because of my grandpa CHappell. He passed away last September. People would always ask if I had a plan B, and he never asked. He just knew I could do it. And so I decided.
Ironically, he's like, there's no plan B. Because I own an insurance company that makes enough money where you don't need a plan B.
To name myself CHappell after him. I think this is what I was born to do. After the interviews.
Okay. So a little bit of that there, trying to weave a narrative for herself. But again, also, this is all personal choice. This is all deciding to put your life out there. None of that had to be shared. That was what you chose to do, what you chose to share, what content you wanted to make about your life. You could have avoided any criticism by just being quiet. That's my advice for all these people. If you want to avoid criticism, just be quiet. Okay, here's an old video. It says CHappell Roan and what her life was like growing up in Missouri. Okay, I have not seen this yet.
Missouri, Southwest Missouri. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, refresh me. Tell me about it a little bit more. Small town.
Yeah, small town. I grew up in Willard, Missouri, which is outside of a bigger town called Springfield, Missouri, which is a little bit more known, but it's in the farming area of Missouri. So it's just very open, a lot of cows, dairy farms. And my town had 5,000 people in it. And I grew up there my entire life, and I never quite felt like it was where I was meant to be. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't get along with I didn't connect with a lot of people my age there. And I kind of still feel that way today.
As it relates to Missouri, or is that just in general?
Oh, just in general, it's just a completely different part of the country as sure. Where it's opposite of where I am now. And I adore Missouri of how it brought me so many different perspectives than as if I were raised on the coast. I would be obviously completely different, but
I feel like it is like past, like Missouri is.
Yeah. It's in the rear view.
Like I don't really see myself moving back there.
Sure.
But I think she does own property there still. A 40-acre property is what I'm seeing, allegedly. Here's something that I find kind of funny too. So, you'll know that stans of any celebrity come to the defense of that celebrity when there's fan accounts, and stan culture is like, no matter what the person does, defend them to the death, right? So here's a CHappell Roan fan account. Okay, I think this is hilarious because it's like, we've lost the plot, people. We've lost the plot completely here. All right. This is what this says. We don't wish to spread personal details about CHappell's life, but the public smear campaign occurring is too overwhelming to not highlight a few key things. People from all different walks of life live in trailer parks. What do you mean? What are you talking about? If someone says, I lived in a trailer park, that is making a statement that is meant to elicit a certain response. I'm sorry, you're not saying, I lived in a millionaire trailer park. You would say the millionaire part if that's what you meant. I'm sorry to say. But this account is apparently disagreeing.
Emotional right now.
Oh, hold on. One second. I got two things to say before I continue. Thank you so much to Alaska Blood Tundra. Thank you so much, as always.
Auntie Ray Ray. There are many Caminos. Right now.
What's the best recipe for fried chicken?
But also,
what happened to dinosaurs?
Thank you so much, Alaska Blood Tundra. This is also how I feel about you.
We all love money.
So true. Amy LX8RN, thank you so much. As always. Right now. Amy says, $2.4 million house. She must have signed up for Betty's Get Rich Like a Monk-based teachings. Betty. Betty is a beagle, I believe. That is training to become a monk and a self-help guru on Reddit. Well, that's where the images of Betty are posted on the Kia's World Reddit that you should also join if you want to learn about Betty and see Betty because she's so cute.
It is 18 American dollars.
Rip Dave will be talking about you soon, later in the stream.
It's the full moon. If you think you might have worms, go ahead and have a little ice cream.
I love worms. And Nakey Chells, thank you so much to Nakey Chells. Nakey Chells says, my husband goes weekly to his hella rich grandparents' multi-million-dollar home to help them out, and he gets zero financially. Some people hoard their wealth, even from grandchildren who care for them. Good point. I do wonder that as well. I think she would have said that, though, I would guess. If she was, because I don't think she's addressed it, and to me, that means she kind of got caught, but I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, and that could be the situation. Who's to say?
Sound familiar?
I feel like I'm a clown in a circus.
That's what CHappell thinks as she wears a clown outfit.
I just liked being able to get away with whatever I wanted.
That could also be a CHappell Roan quote. Thank you, Naked Shells. Great perspective, and also something that could be happening here. I agree. Okay, let's go back to the trailer park. This is a lesson on trailer parks and socially what they mean on X, okay? People from all different walks of life live in trailer parks. Working people of all different backgrounds, equating residency and a mobile home to poverty is implicitly classist, especially when you refer to it as white trash. I don't think it's classist to say that is what the, I don't know if it's the correct use of the term, like the nomenclature is. That is what the colloquial feeling is in culture, to say if someone says, I grew up in a trailer park, you are making a statement that you were of lesser means. I don't think that's up for debate. I'm sorry to say. I don't think that's up for debate. And I haven't heard about it if so. It is also not lost on us that many of you seem to think living in a trailer implies dysfunction or financial illiteracy. These are bigoted assumptions. Huh? What are you talking about? CHappell Roan was not saying she lives in a trailer park because she assumes you know that she's actually secretly rich. Okay, and to think otherwise is a lie. We've lost the plot once again. It has been corroborated by Missouri locals that CHappell did, in fact, live in a trailer park when she was younger. See the photo below. Okay, this is a random tweet from someone that says, so as someone local, I can confirm. CHappell lived in a trailer park in Columbia, while her mom was at MU for vet school. Like, where is this narrative coming from? Oh yeah, so her parents also own currently a veterinary business, which apparently is successful as well, allegedly. CHappell has only ever referred to herself as poor when she is speaking about the point in her life when she was struggling to make it independently as an adult. During this time, she worked several odd jobs and moved back to Missouri from LA. Do those seem like the actions of someone who's filthy rich to you? She has never tried to represent her upbringing as something that it wasn't. And many of you are forgetting that she was 26 when she really blew up as an artist. It's very unlikely that she was being financially supported by her parents that entire time. Obviously, her grandfather being wealthy does not speak to her immediate family's wealth. Fine, I tend to agree. I think it's unlikely that she didn't get support, but okay. Which would be how she experienced life. This is yet another flimsy attempt at manufacturing hate towards CHappell, and unfortunately, many are going to fall for it. I think she does enough of that on her own. I think there is no conspiracy theory against her. I think she either purposely or accidentally involves herself in quite enough drama on her own, personally. And it says, okay, this is another one. This is another, I saw some of the comments about this, the Grammy camp thing. Okay, which is another point of contention. CHappell Roan raised money to go to Grammy camp after she was accepted to it for her undeniable musical talent. It wasn't handed to her. Okay, so this is from 2014. Young songwriter to raise funds at concert. Willard High School student Kaylee Rose, which is her real name, is one of a select group of 30 high school students from across the country who have been accepted into Grammy Camp in New York City. She will attend camp August 3rd through 11th. To raise funds for the trip, 16-year-old Kaylee is putting on a benefit concert from 8 to 10. Saturday at Classic Rock Coffee on Sunset Street. She'll perform original work as well as favorite cover songs. Admission is $5 and donations are accepted. There will also be an auction of donated items. Someone says gag. Okay, so we were wrong, guys. Trailer parks are for millionaires too, and she raised money to go to Grammy camp, so nothing to see here. She is poor, but actually thinking that she's poor just because she said she lived in a trailer park is classist and bigoted. Just so we all know, that is the new rules. Amen. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here's another scandal that happened. Now, to be fair, and I'm going to play both of the clips, the one angle looks bad. If that was the only angle that we had of this incident, it would look like she's guilty as hell. It's caught on camera, right? However, the other angle that shows this incident does make her look innocent. So I do think this got blown out of proportion in the beginning because the second angle had not been surfaced yet. So in this case, I think she did nothing wrong. But it plays into her narrative of that she's difficult to be around. Okay? So this is at a event somewhere where she's, wearing a William Shakespeare outfit. Okay? Here we go. So the first one here, right, is the far angle. Now the narrative in this is CHappell Roan pushes this woman out of the way. The woman goes like this, basically like, wow, what a bitch. And CHappell goes straight to the paparazzi. Okay. She's like, okay, this lady just pushed me out of the way. Here we go. It looks very dramatic. Push. And then the woman's like upset. Here's the other angle. Okay, she's like, oh, hi. And just brushes past her politely and says, oop, don't want to step in your way, because she heard someone calling. But it didn't help her image, this incident. Because if you only saw this one, you'd be like, damn, she pushed her hard. But actually, she didn't. Okay, I just wanted to add that. Here's another one that blew up recently. So this is in Italy, I believe. And she gets out of a car, and there's fans, and there's people who are paparazzi. Okay. And this is how she's responding.
Disregarded as a human. This is what it's like. So I'm just trying to go to dinner, and I've asked these people several times to get away from me.
Please step to the side. Step to the side.
This person I've asked several times to go away, and they will not. They're hiding their face because they're ashamed. Because I've asked them. These are all the people that are completely disregarding all of my boundaries. So this is, then go away. So I want all of you, I'm asking you kindly to please leave me alone and stop following me.
Can you give us something nice? Then we go. What are you wearing? Okay, Chappell, no problem. You don't have your choice, yeah.
If you're wondering how it is.
And what are you wearing? Chappell, you're fashion icon. Fashion icon.
Fashion icon. She's a fashion icon. Again, I'm torn because half of me goes, these people are annoying as hell. Paparazzi are not good people. The fans wanting signed autographs to sell on eBay are not, doing a nonprofit service or anything positive for society. But is recording them and making a big deal about it going to get them to go away? No. That's going to now that's a bigger headline. Now there's going to be more paparazzi trying to entice her to start a fight. Similar, and it harkens back to the Britney Spears days, like 2007, Britney being harassed nonstop. And now when she's pushing back and pushing them and doing all this stuff, now more are coming. It's like a disease. What's the solution? I don't know. But there's other celebrities that don't seem to have this ongoing problem every single day, every time they go in public. Maybe she could consult with them about how they get around. I've never seen Taylor Swift in a situation like this. It seems to be a very coordinated effort that goes on when she walks around and sets up these shots. And is it all a facade? Is this all to gain attention because she knows that this will get clicks and attention to her music? Is this all a big conspiracy theory? Perhaps. Okay. So here is the security guard related to the Jude Law stuff in Brazil. Okay, so this guy is Pascal Juvier. Okay. Says, I do not normally address online rumors, but the accusations currently circulating are false and constitute defamation. Okay. No, but okay. I take full responsibility for the interactions on March 21st. I was at the hotel on behalf of another individual, and I was not part of the personal security team of CHappell Roan. The actions I took were not on behalf of CHappell Roan, her personal security team, her management, or any other individuals. I made a judgment call based on information we obtained from the hotel, events I had witnessed in the days prior, and the heightened overall security risk of our location. So I don't believe this. I'm sorry. My sole interaction with the mother was calm and with good intentions, and the outcome of the encounter is regretful. I'm not buying it. This is giving, we're going to sue your ass if you don't put out a statement that makes our girl look innocent of all charges. Personally, that's how I feel about it. But okay, let's see what E! News has to say.
After CHappell Roan was accused of sicking her security guard on Jude Law and Catherine Harding's 11-year-old daughter Ada Law at a hotel in Brazil, the bodyguard in question clarifies that he was not part of the singer's team. Pascal Duvier writes in a March 25th post on Instagram, I do not normally address online rumors, but the accusations currently circulating are false and constitute defamation. In his statement, the security guard says he wants to take full responsibility for the interaction on March 21st, when Catherine and her husband, soccer star Jorginho, said Ada was accused of harassment for smiling at CHappell while they were having breakfast at a hotel in Sao Paulo. Pascal notes, I was at the hotel on behalf of another individual.
Okay, I just wrote this. I just read it. So you get the point. Do I think it's true? Probably not. Who I don't know. Why would you care a girl is going up to CHappell Roan if you're working for a different artist? I don't think so. I don't believe it personally. Okay, so here's another one. Another confrontation caught on camera surreptitiously, right? She knows there's a million cameras. Why are you getting into full-on verbal spats with people? hey, if this is how you want to be, fine. But I don't think then the accusations of, oh, she's difficult in public, you better be worried if you see her, then it's not true. You know, like you can't say, I'm really easygoing, I love talking to my fans, and then constantly be in public fights with people. So here's this one. So this is paparazzi on a red carpet, or I guess in this case, a purple carpet, and she goes and confronts one of the photographers. Again, are paparazzi good people? No. Do they help her career grow and make her money? Yes. Okay, so it's hard to hear. But she goes up to somebody. So she's taking her photo at some event. Goes, you were so disrespectful to me at the Grammys. You yelled at me at the Grammy party. Yes. Okay. Can you hear her now?
CHappell Roan has another hot altercation on the red carpet. While attending the world premiere for Olivia Rodrigo Guts World Tour, the good...
She really wants that voluptuous hair to be shown on these pictures that she thinks are disrespectful to her that are being taken.
Luck Babe singer spots the quote disrespectful photographer she encountered at a previous red carpet and takes a moment to confront them.
I feel like, honestly, now that I'm seeing more of these clips, I feel like this is all orchestrated. Seems orchestrated to me that she goes, okay, she knows the internet. She knows TikTok. She's on it. She's a younger person. She knows what's going to go viral. And she is like, this is my moment. This is my moment to be in the headlines. At the Universal after party, I remember. You were so rude to me. I deserve an apology for that. Yeah. Yep, yeah. No, you need to apologize to me. That's how all good apologies are. Forced upon them in public while cameras roll.
And while it's unclear if she ever received the apology, the singer does seem to walk away and continue posing for the cameras. This reunion comes a little over a month since CHappell's initial carpet situation at the VMAs. On September 11th, the 26-year-old made her red carpet debut at the award show, dressed in a jaw-dropping medieval-style look, topped off with nails that could kill and a shiny sword. However, her debut quickly took a turn when the singer called out a photographer that pushed her limit. After the altercation,
I don't know what happened there. But I think she knows that that's going to be a cool-ass image. With her long nails and a sword screaming and mad. And that's going to be good for her brand.
CHappell addressed the incident with Entertainment Tonight, saying, "This is quite overwhelming and quite scary. I think for someone who gets a lot of anxiety around people yelling at you, the carpet is horrifying, and I yelled back. You don't get to yell at me like that." Weeks later,
I went to a Kylie Jenner event one time when I was in Florida, and it was an opening of the Sugar Factory. Okay, I don't know. Don't ask. And it was insane how much they yell, the photographers. And it's like, can she even hear? It's the same thing in a press or a sports scrum where there's a million people and you're all holding your microphones up and people are screaming, and you hope that your voice is the one that the person picks up on and can hear and can answer. But how can you pick out one person out of it? You can't. You can't go, you specifically in that sea of 20 people, I heard your question and it's the worst one and how dare you. It's the whole event and that's how it's been forever. Is it okay? I don't know, but I'm sure you could probably not walk the red carpet if that's what you really, really wanted to avoid that mess, which again, I think is a mess and horrible. And people are screaming at you, can't even understand what they're saying. But there's a way to avoid that, but you lose the publicity. And so she wants the publicity, but also doesn't want the experience, and also wants her viral clip. I think it's all an act, to be frank.
To-Go singer revealed on her Instagram story that she was canceling her upcoming performances and needed to prioritize her health. As she said on September 27th, "I apologize to people who have been waiting to see me in New York City and DC this weekend at All Things Go, but I am unable to perform. Things have gotten overwhelming over the past few weeks and I am really feeling it." She continues, "I feel pressures to prioritize a lot of things right now, and I need a few days to prioritize my health. I want to be present when I perform and give the best shows possible. Thank you for your understanding. Be back soon."
I don't know. Again, what do I actually care about this? Not really. Okay, let's wrap it up with CHappell Roan, our trailer park classist queen, and we'll see what she has to say. She says, "I don't care." This is from 2024, so maybe it's some perspective about abuse and harassment. "Don't assume this is directed at someone or a specific encounter. This is just my side of the story and my feelings, exploring boundaries and behavior."
Abuse.
Okay.
I don't care that.
How do I get rid of this? Why does it say CHappell Roan dumpy?
Abuse.
Why does it say that? I didn't put that.
I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or...
I agree with her here. I don't think it's something that they should be okay with and just allow and whatever. But I don't think verbally harassing the people who are doing it back is gonna solve anything, and screaming at them and pointing out and recording yourself on a selfie, screaming at them or telling a kid at a hotel to fuck off is doing what it is not fixing the problem either, personally.
Little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's fucking weird.
I 100% agree with her here. However, that is how you tend to get sales and retain fans and all of that. And it's a very specific industry that may not be for you. I think it's like you can't have it both ways. You can't have it hot to go both ways. You can't be at the big booty club if you have a little booty. You know what I mean?
I'm allowed to say no to creepy behavior.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care.
Totally. You are. But people then are also allowed to think, it's kind of annoying that you're a celebrity, famous person, and fans are coming up to you and you're saying no rudely. I think it's also fair to not like that behavior.
Answer questions. Just answer my questions for a second. If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, "Can I get a photo with you?" And she's like, "No, what the fuck?" And then you get mad at this random lady? Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? Would you try to dissect her life and bully her online? This is a lady you don't know. And she doesn't know you.
I mean, yeah. Guilty as charged. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. I can't even lie.
Jeez, this is so good.
My channel?
This situation is a red flag.
Priceless, juicy nuggets.
Yeah, I agree with everything she's saying, but I do think you need to take some personal responsibility and go, well, this is the world that we're in, unfortunately. I need to take all the precautions I need to by hiding and not going in public the way you're going and wearing the giantest hat in the world. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm being too mean, but...
You at all. Would you assume that she's a good person? Assume she's a bad person? Would you assume everything you read about her online is true?
But here's one thing I really do like about her that I've seen so far. I have not seen her say, I love you guys. You are my best friends in the whole world, like a Mel Robbins. You guys, hi, I love you. You specifically, I want to help you. Come to my Lollapalooza show. So at least she's not doing that and then making the double standard of, but don't talk to me, actually. That's where I think it's really bad. So she doesn't seem to be trying to build the fake parasocial emotional relationship that I can tell, which is good.
You're a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second, okay?
Agreed. Agreed. Okay. Are we ready to talk about Heidi Powell? Are we ready to talk about Heidi? Give me an H, give me an I, give me an H, give me an E, give me an I, give me a D, give me an I. What does that spell? Hot to Heidi. Hey. Okay. So let's listen to Heidi. This is from a podcast. This is Hot Piping Tea, according to Reddit. Okay. And I was asked to cover this, and I said, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Also, before I get started on this, I need to tell all of you. Actually, I'll tell you at the end. Well, this will be my wrap up. I'll tell you my big secret. Secret's coming after this review. Okay. So stick around because I'm going to reveal all of my secrets. Also, if you see me in public, you can say hi. Okay. It's happened once to me in front of my friend from high school, and it made me feel so cool. That I was approached by someone who knows me from YouTube with my friend from high school. I've never felt cooler in my life. If you stalk me at my house, I don't even have a house. If you stalk me on my curb, I will think it's weird. Okay, that's my boundaries, just so you know. Okay, so this is a podcast that is new called... It's a little confusing. It's not on YouTube. It's only on Spotify that I can find. It's called A Beautiful Rebellion. Sobriety is a power move, not a consequence. I think that's the whole podcast, the full podcast title. It's a little wordy. I don't know who this person is, but she had Heidi Powell on her podcast as the first guest. This is from 2025 sometime. And it's gritty truths and lots of laughs with sobriety's bravest truth tellers. Join me through my first year of awakening and let me hold your hand through your own addiction triumph. Be part of an army of swing for the fences, life-loving badass ... Okay. Why Heidi's on here, I don't know. But apparently she gets into Dave, and there's some secrets that are revealed about Dave. And, for example, he smoked cigarettes. That's news to me. So I don't know what else she reveals, but I'm curious to find out. So let's take a crack, shall we? Speaking of crack. Just kidding.
You are so...
This one.
Your crack.
Also.
You are so quirky.
Okay. Here we go. Let's hear her out.
The very first episode ever of A Beautiful Rebellion, Sobriety is a Power Move and Not a Consequence, reality star from...
Look familiar? Have we been here before? Oh, I'm actually in her house right now. Amazing. Okay.
ABC's Extreme Weight Loss, Heidi Powell shares intimate details that can help family members of alcoholics.
I felt like I was so connected to his soul still. I was like, if I can't let him go, I felt like his soul was going to feel like it, needed to protect and be with me. And so I had this whole thing where I was like trying, letting him go.
What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. All right. We're off to a great start.
And saging and yeah.
Right after Heidi helped her boyfriend, motivational speaker and Disney executive Dave Hollis through addiction and inpatient treatment, during their breakup, she dealt with his death by overdose.
they were broken up. Okay. We all remember when they went to Napa together. They made separate videos announcing their breakup. That was, what, in January? December? Something like that? And then he died in February. So they were months from broken up. Now, they were communicating. We know that because she was communicating. And I guess she talks about that in this podcast about the night he died. So, anyways, it's not her boyfriend died. Her ex-boyfriend died, which takes away a lot of the, why are you talking about this on his behalf? You are the ex-girlfriend. However, I will give her a point of yay, because I think it's better to over talk about someone than not talk about them at all, a la Rachel Hollis, Dave's ex-wife. I wish there was a nice, between the two, a middle ground of talking about him a little bit and acknowledging he was alive and in their lives, and exploiting his death and tragedy for your own gain. I wish there was a nice in between, but okay.
Just a month before I met and became friends with her. You'll learn about when she discovered family addiction and dealt with that at a young age, and hiding eating disorders. Heidi's experience with what she calls a massive food addiction bred the same kind of shame, guilt, and isolation that we experience with alcoholism. She shares how overcoming the hardest parts of life is no longer something she wants to hide from and be ashamed of, but use as a superpower to help others live the joyous lives we have on the other side of addiction.
I was meant to have an eating disorder. Like anyone out there right now who's struggling with alcohol, I fully believe every single person I'll get emotional, but is exactly where they're supposed to be. They are in the struggle that they are meant to conquer. All it is like, it's something that is there to remind us and show us and teach us how strong we are. But I think we have to be willing to accept that first before we can get all the way through it.
Talk is not only...
No, Heidi, no.
No.
Bad. No. Oh, I'm so grateful to be an alcoholic. I'm so grateful that my liver is slowly deteriorating and will kill me one day. I'm so glad that I'm doing fentanyl shoot-ups in the hotel, risking my life. I love it. I need this. I'm so grateful for it. Oh my God. Get a grip.
Filled with tears, laughs, and hugs, but sexual innuendos about microphones we couldn't stop laughing over like 8-year-old children.
Well, now we know how to pull it out.
See, now it got longer. See, it wasn't.
I feel like the sexual innuendos just keep coming. Most importantly, we get to learn how her growth mindset set her up for success in living a full and joyous life.
Yeah.
After all.
Yeah, she's living a joyous life. I can tell. I can tell. This woman, she's joyous.
Of her setbacks.
Okay.
Podcast that you listen to.
Gives you joy and peace, I know it gives you joy and peace. This is what we live for.
This is the first ever episode of A Beautiful Rebellion. Sobriety is a power move and not a consequence. It's not going to be like any other podcast that you listen to. Gritty truths, lots of laughs with sobriety's bravest truth tellers. And I want you to join me, Lindsay Dara, your host, in my first year of awakening from alcohol. And let me hold your hand for your own addiction triumphs. I'm not going to be your teacher or your sensei. I'm going to be your peer who is just using all of her journalism skills and experience with addiction and recovery to bring you the best stuff that I can to change your life. I am so, so grateful that you've given us a chance. And guess what?
Here she is, by the way. She's the host of this podcast, mom, actor, model, international trauma-sensitive yoga teacher, former news anchor, current troublemaker. Okay, this is her. In case you were wondering who you were listening to.
But now you're a part of an army of swing for the fences, life-loving badasses, brave enough to face and overcome our darknesses. Let's go. Hey, loves, I'm your host, Lindsay Dara, and this is the first episode of A Beautiful Rebellion. Sobriety is a power move and not a consequence. And you guys, this is my purpose. Like, on my near-death experience, I just knew I knew that because I had survived almost dying 3 times, there was a reason I was living. And I felt really called to share all of these good nuggets that really amplified my sobriety and intellectually let me know, like, okay, this is the key. And I just wanted to share it. I just want other people's lives to be better because
Do we believe her, chat? Do we believe that all she wants to do is help people through this platform?
No.
No, we don't. We don't. There is definitely personal gain to be gained.
God, I had no hope. No hope whatsoever. My dad died from addiction at 62. His whole family, it runs rampant alcoholism. And I've seen lots of people suffer. People my age who, if they don't get a liver transplant in 6 months, will die and leave their 6-year-old boys motherless. I mean, this is serious. And I know a lot of you are struggling and thinking there's no way in hell I can do this.
How the hell is Heidi Powell related to this monologue? How is Heidi Powell the person you have on this podcast first? Makes no sense to me.
And there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that it can be any better on the other side. Like, what am I going to do without booze? What am I going to do to have fun? Well, let me tell you, it was the biggest surprise of my life. The most joyous reward when I felt 1,000 times better on the other side and had thought people were lying that was going to happen. I really did. I didn't trust anyone. And I didn't know if there was any way out of the pain. And so the ways that I found that actually work for me, that work for other people, the voices that stuck with me through my entire year of healing and intensive inpatient and outpatient and extended outpatient alcohol classes, those people I want to share with you because what they say sticks in my head and lets me go to bed sober at night. Sober from alcohol, sober from the substance that ruled my life last year. Everything just gets better and better and better. And sometimes there's relapses and sometimes there's cross-addicting, but it's all part of the journey. And I have faith in you. So this is our deal. We're going to hang out every single week. This is the first day that we hang out, and we're going to do next Monday too. And we're going to make a ritual about it.
I think there's only like 6 episodes. I don't think she kept this going.
You might take me and my guests on your jog. You might do a bath once a week. You might listen to us during your workout. But let's make a date.
Yeah.
Like, let's be friends. I want you to hold my hand through the rest of my...
See, this person is parasocially lying to us that we're going to be friends by me listening to her podcast. Now, that is inappropriate behavior.
First year of awakening, and I want to hold yours as you step into sober curiosity or maybe putting something down that's been ruling your life.
It's too early to be doing this, I think, but okay.
For a very, very long time. So let's be friends. Okay, we're friends. Hi. This is awkward. Okay, so I've been thinking about the kind of community that we should create. And first of all, sobriety looks different for everybody, like everybody. And there's a lot of judgment. I'm very early in my path and I've had a little bit of flack about that, but that doesn't mean I'm not as determined to get the life that I lived my entire life up to next year back. And I will. I want us to be non-judgmental. I want us to be positive. I want us to be honest with ourselves. I was not honest with myself for the longest time. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get any better. Mm-hmm. And I never told my story to anyone because I thought there'd be legal repercussions for other people. And
would there be?
You can't keep silent to your therapist either. You have to be truthful because that's when the healing starts. Okay.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Okay, so let's be truthful and let's be a little fearless. Like, let's take some risks that maybe we don't know how they're going to pan out.
Yeah, good point, JB.
Let's do it because that's the only way to create change. Okay.
Dave Hollis was doing podcasts like from the rehab center with the rehab owner who is his buddy. So, yeah, we've been down this road before.
I'm a bit silly. You're going to find some silliness from me. You're going to find like weird promos with people with really hot accents promoting the show inside the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to find some outtakes, some bloopers, and a few offhand comments that you're going to be like, who is this chick? Who is she?
Who is this white chick?
Okay. So I'm a former news anchor. I'm a former Miss Iowa that competed in Miss USA, a mom of 2. That is the light and the mission of my life is to get back to being a good mother. I've made a ton of friends in adulthood and high school, and I keep them all. I collect good people. I'm honest to a fault. I want the best for the world and people. I'm an empath.
Oh, she's an empath. Oh, I could have told. I'm an empath. I can always tell when someone's going to say that they're an empath. And I knew she was going to say that about herself. She does look like a pageant girl. My goodness. Beautiful makeup, beautiful dress. 10 out of 10. Gorge.
Path, which is a superpower, I think. Okay. And I won't settle for anything less than amazing in life. I forgot.
Get to the interview.
What I really deserved. I forgot that I was amazing, worth loving, worth standards and boundaries and all these things. And when I finally remembered that in May, everything changed. Everything changed. I put the crown back on my head. I became someone who is going to create the life of her dreams because she has a clean slate.
Hell yeah, girl.
Next week will be the one and only episode about me solely, my story, so that we can find commonalities and you can trust that I've been through almost everything that we're talking about. It will be as much of my story as I'm ready to tell right now, because I want to be very, very conscious of not harming the parties involved or their families. Okay. The whole story is shocking. People I've told, the few people I've told have been completely shocked. It could be a #1 bestseller if it was a tell-all. I'll just say that. But we're going to keep it classy because there are other parties involved. And you know what? At the same time, I want to balance that it's my right to share my lived experiences and use them for hopefully good. It is shocking. Few people know my story because it is so disgusting. It is so unbelievable that it could be a #1 bestseller if it was a tell-all.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Who are you? #1 tell-all from a random woman who no one's ever heard of before. No offense, but what are you talking about?
If you knew all the details, you would be frozen in shock. But we're going to keep it classy for families because there are other people involved. And I really hope you tune in so that we can find commonalities. You might be saying, yes, I've slept on a jailhouse floor. Yes, I've gotten...
What are these screenshots? No caller ID, June 11th, 2:47 a.m. What's the context?
Stalker, burner phone calls and had to file...
I'm getting full-on phone numbers from Tupelo, Mississippi. And then a app that says tape a call, which can be illegal if you're in certain states. What is this? What are we talking about here?
Police reports. Yes, I have slept in a detox room where they also hold homicidal and suicidal people on cots in a huge room where they never turn off the fluorescent lights and a homicidal man watches you sleep. I don't think you're going to say yes to that one. But maybe you've gotten a DUI or crashed your car at 80 miles an hour and wondered if you were going to live. Maybe you've hurt your family and caused them a lot of pain.
I actually didn't do those things. But okay. Thankfully.
There's a lot. There is a lot. And I can't wait to share that and so much more with you that I think
she thinks her story is so unbelievable because she's good looking. And she thinks, can you believe that a good-looking person faced consequences? Yeah, you would freak out if you knew the truth.
You can use. Okay. Only that, nothing more. Please follow the podcast so that you're alerted, and I will see you, friend, next week.
It's 11 minutes we've been hearing this woman intro this interview.
now finally from ABC's Extreme Weight Loss,
Agreed.
my good friend, such a light in life, the one and only Heidi Powell.
This is a really big deal for me. Light bulb moment where I was like,
Heidi Powell and the beauty blur filter that we put over this entire video, because I have not a pore.
who, if I could get anybody, would I want on this? We need important voices. And there was something about you when I met you. You were the perfect blend of authenticity, wild woman. Like, these are qualities I like in people, like in myself. So I knew right away, I was like, Heidi has such good, I know she does, insights, because you have had your story interwoven with addiction in many respects. And it just made me think, I think there's an important conversation between the two of us. You were one of the first people that I was like, I have to get Heidi.
Thank you. And, you know, I think a lot more people have that wild part of them than want to admit. And sometimes they hide it, which then can kind of breed shame, and shame creates, you know, patterns that are hidden and destructive for a lot of us. So I've learned, for me, like, the more I can get, like, let who I am out, the more people will connect.
Well, and it doesn't always have to be in a maladaptive way, right? Like, I am impulsive. That can be a very detrimental thing, or it can be a very good thing, right? Like, I think both of us act on things when we want them. But yeah, you don't want to get the two of us at a festival loose together or something like that.
I like to have fun. What can I say? Yeah.
I want to unpack and start with, where did you
like to have fun at festivals? What festivals? Okay, I don't know. It's not worth it even going back.
really feel for the first time in your life that, like, this beast called addiction, or something that was not in his control or your family's control, was starting to become an...
You know what's interesting is my whole childhood, my dad was actually, most of my childhood, my dad actually did not drink. He didn't take anything. He was very, we were raised Mormon, and he was very straight-laced with substances. And I think it was, like me, I'm a control freak. My dad was very much a control freak as well. And so for him, the idea of being out of control and not able to, or unable to, master his craft or his business or his money or his family, I think was scary. So for most of my childhood, probably high school was when it shifted, but I still don't think I really knew what was going on, because I was so in a bubble myself. Like, I was raised in this Mormon bubble. About the time that my dad, he had, he tore something in his shoulder, then he tore his Achilles tendon. Okay. That was it. You know, tearing his Achilles tendon gave him Vicodin. But now in hindsight, I guess when he started taking Vicodin for his...
Not to bring levity, but...
Let's tune into this ankle.
I had an ankle one, another ankle one for Rachel. But I guess we'll only have the one for now.
Achilles and his shoulder, that's kind of where it started to unravel. But Vicodin was, when he went to treatment, Vicodin was his drug of choice. So, like, there was one...
Well, I heard, and I don't know much about the Mormon rules, but I was under the impression that Mormons, the only thing they're allowed to have is pills. Like pills and soda. So it's not frowned upon as much as like alcohol or drugs are. You're allowed to have prescription pills. So that's why a lot of Mormons are on them. Is that true? Question mark. That's what I saw on a Vice video one time 10 years ago.
Thing that he kind of focused on with everyone. It was Vicodin. But going from Vicodin, then my dad started making money. And money had turned to alcohol. There was such a heavy addiction at that point. My dad was an extremist. So control freak, also an extremist, until like before the drugs, before the substance issues. My dad was an extremist with working out. So it was like he would do all the things and take all the protein, and he was just very, very, very intense, which I am very intense too. Yeah. I mean, I think I have like a I'm very lucky, and I'll explain why and later. But yeah, my dad, when the workout turned to substance, when that became addictive, because Vicodin is so addictive. And I only know this, there was a moment for about a year and a half. Do you know what the feel-free drinks are?
Yeah, the blue.
Yeah.
Kratom.
I don't even know what's in them.
Oh my gosh.
That was on the table when Kimberly Vanderbeek did her interview, that feel free Kratom shots or whatever. And I questioned it then, like, isn't that a very addictive substance, and that it's maybe going to be banned? So that's what she's talking about.
Kratom.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get off of them. I had to full on like detox myself from these things. Kratom? It's Kratom. Yeah. So, and Kratom is like a natural opioid, has the same like withdrawal effects,
I think it
everything.
Trips, the UA analysis for opioids.
Does it really? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so I don't think
Does it really? Thank God. I'm getting back on.
Why would I know
that? But I didn't know. I didn't know what physical addiction felt like until I started doing that. So now that I know that, and I know that Vicodin's like just as strong or stronger, then mixing it with other things, and you're living a lifestyle where suddenly you have money, you have power, you can party, you can have fun, you have friends who are in it, like your community and who you surround yourself with is so important.
You're entrenched in
Yep. Yeah, and so that was my dad's life, and the kids, we all knew something was going on because my dad was not himself. He had become very disconnected. I realized there was actually an issue. Before that, I was in my own eating disorder, and I was kind of in my own addiction in a very different way. And so very quickly I was like, okay, these are things I want to be so careful with if I ever have to take anything for a surgery or whatever. Yeah.
I don't come from a background of like pain pills or anything. In fact, I think when I had to have Oxycontin at one point, doesn't it make you constipated? I don't know. I didn't like it.
It kind of, it like numbs.
TMI.
It like, I took what is it? Percocet for one. I've had 3 knee surgeries. Oh my God.
Oh, interesting, Heidi, because one time I remember you doing a Instagram post that's saying all medication like aspirin is just a Band-Aid to the real problem, and that you shouldn't need any medicine at all, that your body can heal all of your problems. So interesting that you needed it when you had a knee surgery, huh? I guess in some cases it's allowed.
I finally took it for my last knee surgery in like 2019 or 20, and I hated it. Like I felt like my personality was gone.
To even do it.
I was scared shitless, and I couldn't shit. Like it was all of the things.
Great. I'll give you a preview about what I'm going to tell you at the end of my wrap up of this stream. I did fentanyl this week. I'll explain.
I did not like it, and the pain didn't go away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my personality's muted, and I still have pain.
There's just certain things that once your body is addicted to that, or it's just in your alchemy, right? It's like the alchemy with your system.
Yes. Yeah. That is how I felt with the feel freeze. And actually, I was dating a guy who went to treatment 2 different times when we were dating over feel freeze. Because
you went to treatment for them? The ones that they sell at Circle K.
I'm telling it's a matter of time before those are taken off the market. They are so detrimental to our body, and people like it's just and it's marketed as a wellness tonic.
Yeah.
And the kratom.
It's almost as if there should be a governmental body that looks at these things in the wellness space to make sure that they're not selling addictive substances, because all these supplements and all these wellness products are who knows what. There's no rules against them, essentially. Like, maybe this is just a sign of the entire industry needs to be revamped. Maybe she'd be like, no, but my protein powder that I claim it will make you lose weight and improve your mental health, that's real.
They used to have versions that were kratom free, so it was kava, lion's mane mushroom, and
like apigenins.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Before. No one bought them because they're not addictive, right? But the ones that are addictive, they taste like absolute shit. They taste like baby vomit. I'm not kidding. Like, if you've ever had your baby.
Is it weird that I kind of am like, should I try this? No.
They're so bad.
Great.
And they're like, they don't even feel great, but there's something in it that is so addictive. And so a man I was dating, I was doing one a day for like a year and a half, and I had the hardest time getting off of them.
It's like the vape.
Oh, yes.
The vape is so disgusting. I did it a couple times when, you guys
Lindsay.
have country dancing bars here.
Yes.
So when I'd be down here while I was dating the guy that I met through you.
Yeah.
The guy that I met through you, who's that? Curious.
Would just take like a pull from my friend Brittany's vape. What do
Lindsay.
you think? It's my last thing I have to kick now.
Okay, no one knows
dad
this.
died of smoking.
Literally, no one knows this, and here
I've
I'm
never
on your
had this. Go
podcast
ahead.
saying this. But there was when I was with a guy, Dave. I'll just say it. Dave actually smoked when he and I met, and I had immediately gotten him off. I'm like, that yuck. I didn't say yuck because I wanted to love him as who he was, because he was a great guy. But I did transition him. Like, I got him to start vaping. But same kind of a thing with Dave. I drank more in my life with him than I ever had. I had hardly ever drank before. Not a ton, but it was a lot more. It didn't feel great in me. But when we would drink, we would vape. And I went through 2.5 months where I was like, how the hell am I going to get off of this? Thank God I was so insanely sick one night. Like so sick. Not one night. Right before Christmas, I was like, I couldn't even breathe. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is my way off. So because I couldn't do anything anyway for like a week. And then I was like, I'm done. Never doing it again. It's so
sneaky.
Yes.
It is.
So that's new information. I mean, I think it was obvious. I mean, they talked about drinking before, like at the wedding and whatever, but they really dodged around it and kind of acted like they were not doing that. But it does put it in perspective what was all going on during that time, where they were leading fitness groups and saying that they were going to change the world with their books and go on these tours and inspire people because they were living their best life. They want to help you live your best life. Meanwhile, they're smoking cigarettes and doing kratom shots and drinking alcohol all night. And it's like, everything's a lie. Duh. We already knew that, but confirmation that everything's a lie in these people's lives.
And I've been honest with my kids about it, because I don't want to sneak anything from them.
No.
And I'm like, this is the last thing that has to go.
Yeah.
But we gave up like lots of things this year.
Yeah.
Big life altering things. So we're just going to let that go for like a month.
You've done a lot.
It's been a lot.
And I don't even know your whole story.
Oh,
yet.
you don't, girl. You're going to look at me and be like, have we met?
No. I'm gonna love you. I'm not kidding you. Like, the more I know about what people walk through, the more I love them. I know I'm just gonna love you.
Yeah, because she can feel superior to you. The more problems you have, the more that you can feel like you're better than that person, and that's why you want to keep that person near you, because you're always gonna feel, oh, I'm better than that person because I'm perfect. I think that's why. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to be friends with someone specifically that has a tortured past and a potentially tortured future. It makes no sense unless that gives you some sort of ego boost because you don't think of yourself as that way.
More
personally,
I love it. I'm so proud.
You. I'm really proud of myself, and I think there's a lot of shame that's hidden with.
Yeah,
people think that you should be ashamed of your low points, but man, I always thought I was a scared little girl and I wasn't capable of being really strong.
Yeah.
I'm fucking strong.
I know.
You can be strong and ashamed, I think. I think you can be ashamed of things that you've done and you've hurt people and you've caused issues, and also be strong and also overcome them. I don't think it's one or the other.
But I surround myself with people like you and stuff, so of course I am.
No, I'm so happy.
And so are you. Okay, so tell me. So simultaneously, your dad is going through this, and you said you didn't know we're going through your own forms of addiction or control, or what were we talking about? If you would mind elaborating on, did you say something about a eating disorder?
Yeah. So I actually had, I don't even know, have I ever told you about this? I don't know if we ever talked about this. Yeah.
I'm feeling familiar.
So when I was young, my parents both were like muscle Barbies. My dad was like big, bald Mr. Clean, huge muscles. And my mom was this like really sweet,
sweet woman who cleans
gorgeous muscle girl. Just amazing. And so my whole life, and I think my dad, because of how we were raised, he was always successful. There was a lot of emphasis on how we looked, always. And I don't think he ever said you need to look a certain way. But I would hear, I was the only daughter, and I would see how he loved and worshiped my mom. And I in my mind was like, okay, in order to have a man or have my dad love me or approve of me, I have to look the way that my mom does. And so fine, as I'm younger, but I got into high school and my frame is taller than my mom. So I remember I would outgrow her sizes. I was in cheer. I was a flyer. So there was just, and my parents, because they loved, let me fix this real fast. There we go. My parents, because they loved the gym, they loved it. They would, just to like help us find something we're passionate about too, they would wake us up in the morning at 5 a.m. I'd go to the gym with them when I was in high school. How my brain heard that was you're not enough or you're overweight, because I was.
I think you heard what they intended for you to hear. Unfortunately, I think I had this problem when I was younger and not in therapy yet, where you justify everything your parents do because you go, well, of course they did it out of love, and of course they did it out of like the kindness of their heart, or to teach me a good lesson or whatever. And then you look back at it with logical adult eyes and you go, no, that was actually not making any sense. She's like, well, I thought my interpretation of them waking me up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym was that they didn't approve of me. And in reality, they just wanted to show us interest. And it's like, no, I think you read it right the first time. Trust your gut, trust your instincts. They probably were trying to say that without saying that because they have their own messed up problems.
I was bigger than my mom. And it just created this eating disorder. When I blew out my knee, my 11th grade year, I was like, if I can't work out, it was an 8-month recovery. I had a full reconstructive surgery. And in my mind, I was like, if I can't work out, I can't eat, because what I eat is going to turn to fat, and it's going to be something that then makes me not worthy of my dad's love. It's what I always wanted. His whole life.
This isn't like a conscious thought that you're having.
This I did know. If I couldn't eat, I would think if I can't eat or if I can't work out, then I can't eat. So I remember thinking this. I also remember being at cheer practice. I think just because of how I grew up, I was telling Ryan the other day, my boyfriend, I was like asleep
and
for
our cameraman and our
cameraman,
sound tech,
audio,
and
everything.
Our Instagram story poster. I think.
Yes, let's get this tightened. But I feel like I was asleep for so much of my life, like in like a fog, like just trying to be enough and trying to survive in a lot of ways. So the thought would go through my head in cheer. I would actually think, okay, I'm a flyer. If I want to be as good as everyone else, or I don't want to be heavy, I can't drink water in the middle of practice. So it was such demented ways of thinking. So obviously there's addiction there, there's control. Mm-hmm. Anorexia, though, I did teach myself how to throw up, but it wasn't an often thing. That anorexia turned to bulimia when my dad and mom had gotten a call from the cheer coach that I was getting too skinny. So my dad would then force feed me. Bulimia in my 11th, 12th grade year turned to a massive food addiction, like massive. Like,
so it just like the tables turned?
Yeah, well, it was like I had been depriving myself for so many years of foods because I'd see my parents deprive. I'd get lunches with like salad and fat-free dressing is what my mom would make me.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
From an outsider's perspective.
And I'm sorry to say this because this is going to come off harsh, but she's doing the exact same thing to her kids through her obsession with transform powder and working out and gulping water and making her whole life and living off of people's insecurities. And I'm not saying fitness is somehow bad. I think it's a fine thing to pursue as a job, as a career. I think it's fine. But the way that she promotes it and takes these people into these boot camp classes and all that, it's promoting the same exact thing that got her into an eating disorder in the first place. And I know for a fact that she's worked with people in these boot camps that have been visually too skinny to be in something like this. And I don't know what the outcome was, but it wasn't hey, you're not going to pay us the money to be in here. They allowed her to stay. So that's a story for a different day. Okay.
I don't think a lot of people know in this microcosm of Mormonism, there are everyone's perfect.
You show up and everyone sings and they have talents and
yes, yeah. I mean everything. Sometimes I would be like, oh, I wore the same shirt twice and no one cares what I'm wearing. You know what I mean? But it does make you second guess what you're doing or how you're showing up. So I can see it's a very high demand. I mean, everyone's good at sports. I mean,
they're good at everything.
Yeah.
Now I wear the same thing 5 days in a row and I don't care because I'm you find the jeans you like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, and the food addiction was where it really became bad. So, and because I was.
And the thing is that I've never heard Heidi talk about, she's talked about this story a million times and I've heard it a million times and I empathize with her and I feel badly for her and it's a horrible thing to go through. I don't think she's ever addressed what caused this behavior and blamed it on the correct thing. She does not say her parents caused her to be this way, which it seems like that's exactly what happened. She goes, oh, it was my own fault that I misinterpreted what my parents' lifestyle was like. It's like, no, you didn't. You actually took exactly what they were trying to do, which is probably their own shame and their own issues. Until you acknowledge that people have wronged you, I don't think you can move forward, honestly.
So scared of gaining weight and not being enough. Food addiction was just rampant bulimia. And it like the days would start fine, but the second I would eat like one morsel too much of food or I'd perceive too much, even if it was a carrot, I'm not kidding. I'd be like, oh, well, I might as well go binge on all of those foods that I never was allowed to have before. Cause now I know how to eat ice cream and get rid of it. I can have pancakes. So I mean, there were years where all I would think about when I would drive by fast food restaurants here is the bathrooms I had thrown up in.
And where were your parents? Where was your mom during all of this? She didn't notice this was going on? Yeah, right. And if she didn't, that's even worse. I think she thought that's what women need to do. That's my guess. Her mom thought, well, she's a flyer. She's got to be skinny. That's the requirements. And I support this deep down. I'm projecting maybe, but that's how her story's reading to me.
In this town. And same with Utah. Because when I went away, I ran away. I didn't want to be around. When you have an addiction, you isolate.
Oh yeah.
Right. And
God forbid anything get in the way. Of
yes. I didn't want anyone to know. And like binging at my house was like they were starting to wonder where food went because I would literally. And so as soon as I graduated, I used to think, I mean, just a couple months ago, I was like, yeah, I left the house as soon as I graduated to be on my own. No. If I'm being honest with myself, I left the house at 18 against every shred of my dad's will because I couldn't, my eating disorder, my addiction couldn't thrive with people around. And so I moved to a condo and lived on my own. I did have a roommate, but we stayed in our own sections. And then when I was found out there, I left to Utah where I just kept running away from people who would find me out because I didn't want. Yeah, it was bad. Went from straight A student in high school to D's and F's at ASU. And it wasn't until I went to Utah where I'm like, if I don't clean something up, this is not a good path.
So was it kind of like, was the turning point where you let other people finally know about it?
No.
Or did you get so sick of the behavior or so sick of the isolation? What was the breaking point?
I got married and I had a baby. I think that's going to be her answer because that's what she said before. When she got pregnant, she decided, okay, I need to start eating.
Such a journey. Like I
not to deduce it down to
learned,
like one sentence, but
I should have, in hindsight, and for anyone listening, I should have gotten real intensive help. And every time someone brought it up, I fought it, or I'd be like, I'm fine. I would try and clean up so that I didn't have to go get help because there was so much shame for me at 18, 19, 20, thinking that I would need to go to an inpatient treatment center. So, and I think there was also shame for my dad. So I don't think my dad at that time wanted to be known as the guy whose daughter had to go to inpatient treatment.
And that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. Tell that to a therapist because I think she's right. I would guess. I don't know her dad. I don't know her parents. But based on all her stories, it sounds like, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. There's shame from your parents causing shame on yourself and you're trying to control it. As someone who has I don't have the same stuff as her, but like the shame and the parental issues, it's how it works, in my opinion.
And so we all kind of were like, okay, well, can we just Band-Aid this with a therapist? Can we just like whatever? And I did start Band-Aiding my symptoms. So I got better at hiding bulimia. It didn't go away. But I was able to carry a job, do really well with my job, make it through school, get good grades. So I became the equivalent of a high functioning alcoholic with my bulimia into my first marriage. Wow. Yeah, into my first marriage. actually until I got pregnant. So the real breaking point, the first time I really, and
Do I know Heidi or do I not know Heidi?
I'm going to say it was a white knuckle, was when I got married to Derek, when I got pregnant, when I realized there was a baby in my body and whatever I fed my body with or pulled from my body was either going to grow this baby or hurt it. My aunt had a child with spina bifida due to her bulimia. And so that was like a terrible, huge fear of mine. I didn't want to.
Well, it's a healthy fear. So thank goodness that fear was there.
Yeah. And so that was the first, I'd say like for a year and a half, it was having pregnancy and then breastfeeding. I no urge to vomit. No, because I could eat and I knew it was going somewhere good. I could eat. But even my mind when I was breastfeeding was like, oh man, I'm luckily breastfeeding. So I have 500 extra calories a day. I would like budget accordingly because I was so scared. But yeah, it was a big journey. I'd say pregnancy and babies helped get rid of the symptom, it helped band-aid the symptoms of an eating disorder. Dysmorphia was still there. And that really did not, so the huge breaking point for me, after we started filming the show, Chris had no idea. I didn't tell my first husband. I didn't tell my second husband. I didn't tell anyone.
I would have to guess that they know, that they knew and they didn't do anything about it or didn't confront her about it. I would have to guess. I don't think you're that good at hiding something like that. You might think you are, but you're not. And that's upsetting. But she probably picked people to date that she figured out would not confront her about these things.
I was not bulimic with Chris. Very dysmorphic. Very still anorexic in the way where if I ate 1,500 calories, I would make sure I was burning 1,800 a day, right? So like I would do the math and make sure I was going to stay looking the way that I think.
And again, this is just a reminder when we're watching television shows where she's being hailed as a fitness expert on national television and she's coming in and hitting people in the face and saying like, you don't love yourself and punching people as part of a show to make people lose weight, that this is actually what's going on with those people. That people who are experts are just damaged people like the rest of us, and that they're not special and they probably have major issues. And when you're watching Miss USA, the other woman's over there, on pills or whatever. Like no one is above these human problems.
I thought I needed to look.
It's just, I don't know if there's one person in society who can say they're actually happy with where they are, that they don't overthink.
Yeah.
Or they aren't feel guilty about what they eat, or have a skewed perspective of what they look like.
Yeah.
I don't think I know what I look like.
Yeah, I know. I realize that I need people in my life who I trust that can give me their honest feedback, because what I see in the mirror is not actually real, right? Like I have such a skewed perspective, and I probably always will. But on the TV show, I was a trainer with my then husband, Chris, where, you know the show, but it's Extreme Weight Loss, where we help people lose half their body weight over the course of a year. They were extremely obese when they would come to us. And at first, what's interesting is Chris was very diet and exercise, like very sciencey. Because my dad had gone through rehab, because of everything I'd been through, because of my eating disorder that I was finding my way through still, I knew, and I had done Family Week with my dad at rehab. And Family Week, they taught us to never shame our dad. Like they said, relapse is a part of the process for a lot of people. And if you are a space where your dad comes to tell you that he's relapsing or struggling, and you judge him or you shame him, he will go do what he's going to do anyway, and you guys will have no ability to help. And so that stuck in me.
I guess I agree to that. It's hard. Wow, this whole episode, this whole stream has been I see both sides, which is typically not how I see things, I guess, in topics that I bring to the channel. But I really do. I go, yeah, that makes sense. However, it feels like unfair to blame your family for your addiction, and your lack of support or enabling is going to cause them to go and do it. That seems like some sort of religious rehab, I would guess. I could be wrong, but I see both sides. Where I'm like, yeah, I can see that to be true. But also what the shame then is put on the daughter and the mother for making him go and do it because they weren't supportive enough, because they were upset that he's wanting to relapse. Tough stuff. Am I right? I don't know what this has to do with Heidi's career, but here we are. Monetize trauma. That's what we're doing here. Amy LX8RN, as always, thank you so much. Amy says, based on this conversation and Heidi's relationship history, all I'm hearing is daddy issues. She should join Beagle Betty's monk schooling. Yes, I agree. That is the cure-all for everyone's ailments, especially daddy issues. I have a joke. I write down jokes to one day when I become confident enough to try to do a stand-up routine or like an open mic routine. I just write down things I think are funny. One of them I gave my dad daughter issues. I don't know how to if that's a joke. Is that a punchline? Is that just a funny, weird thing that I've decided that is probably true? But that's my joke that I'm working on. Okay.
There's something I call bullshitting yourself.
That's a message for me to hear. Also, what is this? What's this one?
Potential just means you're not worth shit now.
Amen, sister. A woman. Am I right?
Ghosts, how does that even work?
Also, Amy, this one's for you once again. I need some sexy light language for you. Damn, that got hot. Okay. Also?
The mango frequency.
Okay, back to it.
Hugely. And so anytime my dad or anyone would come to me and start to admit what was happening on the show, if they were binging, they were falling into their addiction. It was so important for me to love them through it. And like I'll get emotional, but like the only 2 words ever were like, thank you. Like, thanks for telling me, because change can't happen if honesty isn't there, which what was beautiful about that is one of the girls in season 1 was caught throwing up. And that was the first time I had admitted to a single soul about what I had gone through previously. There was so much shame, Lindsay, with what
But she was lying because she was still going through it, and she lied to the woman. So she actually went against her own advice, lied to the woman, said I had gone through that in the past, but was actually still dealing with it at the exact time that this woman was dealing with it. Okay, got it.
I'd done to my teeth. I have veneers on my top 10 teeth. I just was so embarrassed by all the ways I'd hurt my body and binged and purged for so many years that I hadn't told a soul. And so to talk to her about it and like allow my voice or my experience to come out and see that it helped somebody gave me permission to share it with another person. And it was like more and more people who had eating disorders had come to me. And the more I shared, the more, yes, I helped them. And also the more I healed myself. And then, yeah, it just it was something that I felt comfortable talking about in the media. That was my turning point, freeing myself, like taking the weight off of the secrets and the hiding, and letting people see who I really was, brought me to a point where this thing that I thought I would never be proud of.
But that's the thing with self-help that tends to happen to all these gurus, is they only tell the truth in the past. They always tell the story as, I overcame this. Here's my tips of how I overcame this. And then 5 years later, they're telling the stories about 5 years ago when they weren't telling you what was going wrong. And they said, I learned 5 years ago how to do this. Now I'm healed from that. Learn from me here. And then 5 years later, they say the same thing about 5 years ago. So what she's saying is she wasn't totally truthful. She was comfortable saying, I overcame this thing in the past, but that's not even true. So how can honesty be the answer?
Has become like a badge of honor. It's become something, I'll get emotional. But it's become something that I'm proud of. Like, I feel like it was a part of my journey for a reason. And I see that in people, like in you. I love what you're doing, because I love that you're taking something that you could, many people allow to define them in a negative way. And you're saying, no, this is my superpower. Like what I've been through and how vulnerable I am is what's going to help people. Like if you had not gone through what you did, you would not be able to, you're going to change lives. And I love this for you.
Well, and we were talking about the shame before and how that keeps you in it. But I love that when you help someone else, it helped, because anytime that I would teach like a meditation retreat or a yoga class, I would theme on what I needed to hear. Because we're all the student and the teacher at the same time.
Yeah.
And teaching reinforces the lesson. And it gives you more steam, right? Like, who am I staying sober for today? I'm not staying sober for just myself. I've got kids. I've got people who need to hear what you're going to say, and I need to go somewhere after that and get someone else's message, you know? Yeah. So it becomes larger than you. Yeah, I'm proud of you.
But with that logic, isn't it like it's even better if I relapse so that I can learn again and teach people again that relapsing's okay? It's like you could justify anything you want to do as, oh, this was good for me.
Okay, I did not see, did it like have a media frenzy after that? Like, were you okay?
I was like being on TV. Like,
yes, like when you shared that.
It was super scary because I didn't know how people were going to judge me, you know? That was my biggest thing. But then seeing how well received it was and seeing that, like, you know, the statistics through ChatGPT, which whatever, say like 10% of people have an eating disorder. And I'm like, no, it's like 90. I think 90% of people have. And everyone's just
90% of people have an eating disorder. I'm so sorry. That's inaccurate. Like, what's your definition of an eating disorder? Eating more than 2,000 calories a day? What are you 90%? No, that's insane.
So scared of saying it. So to see the reality of like the amount of people who struggle, I actually just the other day recorded a podcast of my whole eating disorder story that I'll have come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. First time I've ever shared the whole thing.
We can click it. We can link it below this.
Because I know that that's what people need to hear. I know someone is sitting where I was when I was at my lowest moments, years of my low.
And now they're going to find a husband and get pregnant so that they can overcome it like you did. Because that's how you overcame it, you said.
Moment where I was like, I'm going to die. And if I don't die, I don't even know if I want to be here. Right. And I know someone's sitting there wondering if it's even possible to get out of where they are. And so I love being able to sit where I am and almost sometimes have a hard time connecting with that version of me that was that low, because I feel like I've traveled a path that has like led me to freedom.
You have. And you know, I don't know if it was like this for you, but when you're in that spot of like hopelessness about it, like I could never really picture myself ever not drinking. Yes. I really thought like I'm gonna, just like my dad and his whole side of the family, like this is gonna get me. How could I ever change like this? Or how am I gonna get myself out of this low? I've never been to all these things that seem hopeless. Like it seems like empty promises people are telling you when they're trying to help you get well. And I'm just so glad that the promises are true. Yeah. Like, look at your life. Look at like the life that we get to live on the other side of these things. It does.
I think when Heidi hears that from her, deep down she goes, fuck. This is the life I get to live. I'm not happy. I'm tortured in a different way than I was. I'm continuing to be tortured, and now it's just a different thing. I think Heidi would, and I don't know, maybe she wouldn't appreciate it because she's not healed enough to appreciate it, but someone would tell her and not bullshit. If she got around someone that was not kissing her ass or using her for something and told her, look, you're not healed. You're not ready to, teach. You have a lot of things to work on, and your kids are getting the shit end of the stick if you don't fix it. And maybe with someone who could look her in the eye and be honest with her, that would help her and she would appreciate it. But I think I'm seeing right now, look at the life you get to live. I think she's not happy in her life, I would guess. I could be wrong, but I think she is trying to find something to ground her, and she's struggling.
Come true. And that's part of the reason I want to put this together, because I'm like, I want people to trust me on what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. Yeah.
Well, the fact that you're doing something this big, right, and bold, and like putting it all out there is, I think a lot of people, me, when I was trying to heal, I would only want to heal silently because I wanted to keep my addiction or my eating disorder in my back pocket just in case I needed it. Like I wanted it as like I needed an out, right? And I can kind of.
Our secrets keep us safe.
Yes. And I would do the same thing with.
I've got a bunch of these up in here from all the
Well, same with Feel Freeze. And even when I was going through that time where I was vaping, I remember I would like silently quit. And anytime I would silently quit, I already knew. I was like, I was just silently because I didn't want to feel shame.
She never before this podcast and ever since has ever admitted she ever vaped. So I don't know how she didn't silently keep that one to herself.
When I told someone and I went back to doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is
and
a
this is so
physical
big.
addiction to that too, because I thought like, oh, okay, I'll just be able to quit drinking.
Yeah.
How could that be that hard? And then there's something about addiction that
and
is
drinking,
physiological.
yes, drinking is, from what I understand, because I've had family.
I'm an honest person.
Yeah.
I wanted to stop drinking.
Yeah.
But only for a week.
When did you start? Sorry, I know this is your podcast, but I'm curious. When did drinking start for you?
So growing up in the Midwest, we just partied from the time we were in high school. And like
Did she know CHappell Roan at the trailer park? But it's not for poors. It's for all walks of life. We learned earlier.
Friends in high school and I had the most fun group, most eclectic. We were friends with everybody. But then when you went to the University of Iowa, it was a top party school, just like ASU. And you're drinking every single day.
Yeah.
And then when you get married, it's the glass of wine while you're cooking the curry for dinner.
That's what you think. Again, maybe she's not going to talk about what made her do the things she did, but it's not that high school, you went to high school, college, and then you had wine at making dinner. That's not what causes someone to be an alcoholic. I'm sorry. Many people go through that exact same experience and don't have life-altering issues with it. It's usually something emotional, I think.
And then I'm glad that it came to a head. Because I don't think it would have ever gotten bad enough for me to not appear functional.
Yeah.
And I think it slowly would have eroded my health. And just the alchemy of last year, a brutal divorce, a really drawn out brutal divorce.
This audio sucks, by the way.
Really other terrible life circumstances that I'll go into. And, when I'm not interviewing you, but it's just the alchemy of it, and it was like, the pain in my life was so bad last year that I wanted any way out. I would have done anything.
Really?
And so it was like, to calm the anxiety, you would drink. Well, then after a while, the physiology is like, I have to have this or I'm going to be even more anxious. Or you're going to shake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you can't go into that courtroom and listen to them say that stuff about you without a shot of Fireball. Who drinks Fireball during the day? Apparently me last year.
No, a lot of people.
Last year?
Actually, they do.
I mean.
I didn't realize that.
Dave.
You were doing Fireball before court a year ago? Maybe take a breath. Maybe take a minute. Sit a couple months out at home and be with your kids or something. I think this is a little rushed. Okay, now she's going to talk about Dave, so let's go back.
You can't go into that courtroom and listen to them say that stuff about you without a shot of Fireball. Who drinks Fireball during the day? Apparently.
Maybe the court was saying she takes Fireball shots before she walks into court. She goes, I can't go into the court and hear them say that. I must do it. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Me last year.
No, a lot of people.
I know, actually they do.
I mean.
I didn't realize that.
Dave, and it's a known thing, so I feel comfortable saying it, but that I didn't understand. I had another family member who had an alcohol thing, but I didn't spend much time around that person during the day. So I learned with Dave that, and he, had told me before he went to treatment for alcohol too.
Fireball is like a cinnamon whiskey that's pretty cheap and popular among the youth. Buzzball is like a wine cooler, but it's like vodka, I think, in a circle liquor bottle.
When we were together.
What year was this?
He went to treatment See, I didn't really know there was a problem. I think I had like suspicion, but I was like, well, I don't really ever see him drunk, hardly ever. So it must not be a problem. Like I remember the first time he and I went on a trip together, there were huge handles of vodka in the freezer, and I wasn't a big drinker. And I mean, I remember I got drunk one night and vomited all over. It was just not, my body doesn't take it.
If she only read Dave's first book, she would have found out that he loves handles of vodka and was drinking them on family vacations where he was supposed to be taking care of his children. He admitted all of that years ago before they met. So if she cared to find this information out, it was literally printed and at the library available for her to find that out. So that's on her.
And those 3 huge handles of vodka, like the big ones, were gone within a handful of days. And so I was like, but I never really saw him drunk. And so I was kind of confused. I'm like, maybe he dumped it out. Well, what I learned over time from him, because it didn't really come out until about 8 months into our dating. Then there were some really hard nights because Dave was the sweetest, kindest. Did you meet him?
No. So here's where I was going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
When we met, it was 2 years ago, you and I.
Right after Dave died?
Yes. And so I've heard, remember when I was in Newport Beach, I remember you calling and talking about how you had done ketamine therapy.
Yeah.
Post his death.
Yeah.
And gotten some resolution with that. And I'd always heard very interesting things about him as a person. I'd heard about how intellectual he was. And that's another thing that I was like, I need to have this conversation with Heidi because smart people like that can lose to addiction.
Talking to the microphone. Learn this one lesson. Use the microphone that is in front of you. That's an expensive microphone. Put your mouth near it, please. For the love of God.
Yeah. Dave was actually one of the most brilliant people I'd ever met. He was valedictorian of his school. I mean, he was before he left.
He almost was valedictorian, but he told the, what did he do? He told the principal to fuck off or something, and then he got demoted and wasn't allowed to give the speech anymore. Apparently that's supposed to be inspirational. I don't remember.
Left his corporate job to do online, like public. He was an author and a speaker and whatever. He was like one of the big, huge execs at Disney. Like he climbed his way up the ladder. Just really smart guy, insanely charismatic, funny.
Well,
everyone loved him. Oh, he was just so fun. Like actually wild life at the party too.
Oh, sure. We got along. Great.
Maybe it was the alcohol that was doing that, Heidi. Like, okay.
You would have. Everyone loved Dave. He was just such a great guy and so smart. And yeah, I think what I feel like is the pressures of people like that it's a lot. It's really a lot. And so when you're in a job or a lifestyle where like there's a lot of pressure on what you're doing, there's pressure on staying smart, being smart, knowing everything, I think, and having it all together, I think over time it just became something where that was his go-to to calm him and enough. But I did not realize like he was such a high functioning alcoholic. I had no clue that he was drinking during the day. Not at all. And he later admitted.
Again, he was open about his problems with alcohol. Fairly. You know, he also said, I had it in the past. I struggled in the past. I'm fine now. But if you have struggles in the past, you can assume if something's weird and there's vodka handles in the freezer that, hey, 1 and 1 is connected.
Admitted to me right before he went into treatment because we had a really hard week, New Year's Eve, like 2021 to 2022.
Okay, so around that time, if you remember, if you were following this whole saga when this was going on, Heidi was recording when this happened. So the only person to blame is her once again. There was police lights and Dave seemingly was getting pulled over. And then all of a sudden he's going to rehab. And she was posting pictures of him like kind of basically doxing him that he was going to rehab. So why? Why did she do this? And she's acting like, oh, I didn't know anything was wrong. But then all these things were happening and she was posting about it. And outing his private stuff. Now, do I think he should have been honest? Because at that time he was trying to sell conferences and trying to sell himself as like some sort of savant and like guru with life figured out. So I don't think it's okay that he just was, lying to the public about that. I think that's really shitty behavior. But she was outing him that was not consented by him, as far as I understand. So anyways, that's what the preemptive issue was. The police were somehow involved. The nanny had to come and get the one kid from Heidi's house. I don't even know why we know that information. I think Heidi told us all. And then all of a sudden he was in rehab. So I don't know if he got a DUI. I never saw any paperwork or anything about it, but maybe he got a warning. I don't know. But something happened. Cops were involved somehow. And that was, I think, around New Year's, like what she's saying, 2021.
Very hard. And that was like, I was like, okay, I can't. Only, not because he had a problem, but because who he became, when he was the nicest guy. Alcohol would turn him into a different person when it hit a point.
Duh.
And that was like, okay, I'm not doing this. So I will be your friend as you go through treatment. I've had other family members who have been through treatment. I've had my own, like I'm at a place in my life where I can't be what I've seen other codependent spouses be at this point in my life. I have 4 kids. I have a lot going on. And so he and I helped him through treatment, did it. It was really great. And we got back together after, but then slowly over time.
Yes. They were in a challenge, and Heidi complained constantly that he wasn't there helping. He wasn't helping enough. Dave was supposed to be here, but he's not helping because he's doing something else. And then he jumped on in rehab at one point to jump on the live to tell people how to lose weight and be healthy. So the irony was lost on all of them.
And I didn't even know. It started creeping back until it was too late,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the honesty piece again.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Darkness kind of breeds.
Yeah.
Addiction part.
Yeah. I actually didn't know he was drinking again until the night he died. Yeah. Like he and I had a long conversation. We weren't, at that point, we weren't together because I could tell and I would ask and he would hide it. Right. Sure. And I could feel your intuitions. And so it wasn't going to work for us for many reasons. He's in Texas with little kids. I'm in Arizona. I could just feel our lives going in different directions, but we were still best friends. And the night he died, he had called me. We were missing each other. I could see his texts were slurred. And, there were long spaces. And I'm like, oh, man, he's having a hard night. And so he called me crying and just was really, really, really struggling. And he had to be driven home by someone from his son's game. And he was very ashamed because he thought he was hiding.
Someone from his son's game? Oh my God. Well, that's new information because in the Wall Street Journal article, they said he was at a party and got driven home. So it sounds like it wasn't a party. It was his son's baseball game. Jesus Christ. That's rough. It's very dark.
It, and you can't hide it at a certain point. Okay. And then, he ended up, I made him feel as loved as I could and said, you've done this before. We can do it again. Like, we'll check you in somewhere. Go to sleep, because he was stumbling all over the house. And I kind of put him to bed, and then he just didn't wake up. Yeah.
I never heard that part, that she was saying, let's go to rehab tomorrow. That's new information. Last time she talked about this, she said, oh, we were just talking about how he missed me and we were chatting and I could tell something was going on and he was upset about, Reddit or whatever, which I cannot imagine that was the root cause of his problems. If it was what he was focusing on, I think that was just a facade about what was actually happening and what he was actually doing, and he was blaming something else. But yeah, we did know that they were talking or texting the night that he died. I did know that. She did reveal that previously.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That had to be, did you ever really think that moment was going to come?
No.
Were you prepared at all?
You know what's really interesting? That night, I knew he was not going to make it that night. But I actually thought that night, he was going to hurt himself because it was the saddest I'd ever heard him. And
so what you do in that instance is nothing. You think he's going to hurt himself and you just hang up the phone and go, okay. You didn't know anyone in Texas that maybe could go, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. I'm not trying to blame her for what happened. But the fact that she's saying this, I knew he wasn't going to make it, is crazy. You didn't know that. And if you did, you should have done something. I don't know. I think she's trying to give herself more control and clairvoyance than she actually possesses.
We had broken up quite a bit, and always we would find our way back because I loved him so much. Like, we had so much fun together. And so I would always give in to, and it just was like we were magnetic toward each other. And that was the first time, the 2 weeks prior was the first time I ever had held to. Thank you. But we still talked every day. But like, he could tell through some of the things that I'd say and how we were. He had just been in town the night before, and I didn't have him come in and spend the night. And that was I just had him drop stuff. We exchanged stuff. And so I knew he was having a hard night. And he was very introspective that day, which was kind of already I was like, what is going on? And so in my mind that night when we talked, the reason I made him go to bed was because I didn't know if he had a gun in his house. I did, but I didn't know. I was really worried. I heard him rummaging through things, and I was like, man, I don't want him finding. It was just sad. He was laughing, but like it was very a drunk, but different than drunk.
Just like chaotic.
Yeah. And so
So he had a gun in the house? Oh my God. This is a lot. Okay, this is all new information. The most liberal couple ever, I guess because they were in Texas, he had a gun. I don't know. So she was worried that he was going to shoot himself, and she did not call anybody for help or backup. That seems crazy to me. Okay, let's take a break for 1 second. Perfectly timed. We're talking about gun violence now. Didn't think that was coming. Rabba Gabor. Thank you so much. Rabba Gabor says, I laughed at daughter issues. Thank you.
I'm going to send you so much love and so much light and so much good energy today because I feel like you need it.
Also,
I've just healed so much.
That's this conversation back and forth. Them saying that to each other.
I had this awakening in my kitchen.
Rabba Gabor, I hope I will come up with more jokes to make you laugh in the future. Thank you. And finally?
It looks like I'm just sitting. In reality, I'm managing lots of things. I'm feeling lots of things.
Okay, back to it.
Unstable.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, but so sweet. Like, I could hear his, like, he had like such a sweet, sad core, really the best person, and got a lot of online hate. So I think I just had it's like he was the sweet underdog, that got a lot of shit and believed.
The sweet underdog that got a lot of shit? No. I'm sorry, that's not an accurate portrayal of what he was claiming and what he was selling and who he was. He was selling his life advice based on his own life. It is fair to look at who he actually is and what he's actually saying and the life that he was making up to sell stuff. It is totally fair. And again, there's many jobs where you're not the product. Find one of those. It's not the internet's fault for what was going on there. It's so funny and ironic that what all these gurus teach is you are in control of your life. You are the only one who can make the change. You individually.
He was a fraud. Period.
Period. True. You are the one who can change your life, right? That is Rachel's mantra. That was Dave's mantra, essentially. Like, join this group, help yourself, join this group. Who you are at night is who you should want to be, and you can't go to sleep at night, and you better put your shoes out by your door because you have to be integral with yourself. Meanwhile, people online not liking you and not worshiping you is causing you to do cocaine and drink yourself to death. Like, that is not their fault. That is you. That's what you teach. This is on you. It's just so ironic that they're like, well, because what she's saying right now and what they all would say if they were asked, it's like, well, yeah, but what all the stuff we sell is bullshit. Real life, people don't like to be told that they're wrong. Real life, people don't like it when there's Reddit groups about how annoying they are. Real life, people get affected by this stuff, and there's no self-helping yourself out of that mindset. You either are okay with it or you're not okay with it, right? You are either strong enough or narcissistic enough. There's been someone like James Charles, I bring him up a lot in this context, or Jeffree Star, or Shane what's-his-face, Yay, or whatever his name is. Those people, Kim Kardashian, any of them, Kayla Naguera, okay? They don't give a shit. They want money and fame more than caring about anything, like what people think and what people are saying online. They know that it feeds their bank account, and that's all they care about. They are down to do whatever it takes. And that's the type of person, especially when it comes to these online spaces, that you need to be to succeed. If you are not that person, you need to have enough self-awareness to leave the space and not blame people who don't like you. I just don't understand it, especially when you're selling your services to people as I can help you change your life. Dave said that a million times. I can fix your life. I can change your life. Just give me money. Just buy my book for $18 stinking. And that's the one time I go, yes, you are allowed to be criticized. If he was just a person in the world, a Disney executive doing his thing, or even just the husband of Rachel in the background, no, there is no right to go and investigate his life and if he's an alcoholic or not, and if he's in rehab or not. But when you're creating content and sharing it with the world, if all you think can happen and is allowed to happen is praise and worship, then you're not thinking of yourself as a person. You're thinking of yourself as a god. And that is not something that I think is fair for you to think of yourself. And that's a you problem. Anyways, does that all make sense? I don't know. It gets me mad. It gets me angry. Soapy Lulu. Thank you so much, Soapy Lulu. Soapy Lulu says, I gave my dad Daughter Issues is the name of your tour. Well, thank you. If I ever get the courage, my tour will be full of
narcissistic, bully, cult leader.
And this.
Oh, it's a cult.
That's what I'll call it. Oh, it's a cult.
Why does this sound cult every second? I don't know anything more cultish than that.
We're not a cult.
That's what I'm going to start off my set with. Thank you, Soapy Lulu. Okay. Anyways, here we go. Back to it. So guns now are being brought into the conversation. Soapy Lulu, one more thing for you.
I need you to take on a job.
I'm sorry that you don't have a job.
That's what Dave was saying. I'm sorry you don't have a job, but you should buy my book and it'll be the number one way that you get a job. That's the type of shit he was saying. It is fair to criticize that. I'm sorry. It is fair.
A lot of what people said about him, that was not good. And he was so much better than that. So yeah, when I woke up the next morning, I checked in on him, which I had told him that the night before. I was like, hey, when in the morning, because he'd gotten sad that I had not called one day. And so I had to prep him that night. And I said, in the morning, I'm not going to call you, but it's not because I don't love you, because I do. I want you to know, like, this is part of us breaking up. So if you need anything, let me know. Hung up. In the morning, right away, I woke up and I'm like, he's not okay. And so I had sent him a text and he didn't reply, it didn't matter how, we never got mad at each other, but it didn't matter how frustrated or strained or hurt, we would always reply to each other. And so I ended up going to a church, and in the middle of the church, I still hadn't heard, I turned to my friend and I'm like, I think Dave's dead. And so I ended up texting him again, nothing.
That's crazy.
And so when I went out of the house or out of the church, I had someone go drive to his house, an hour in Texas to his house, who had a key. It was his old nanny who didn't even work for him anymore. And she was like, he's not going to like this. He's going to be upset. And I'm like, Angie, I know he's not okay. I know it. I can feel it in my soul.
Call 911 then at this point. I don't know. You can do a wellness check. I guess it's better. It actually was better that she had the nanny go and do it, but I don't know. If you're this sure, I guess hindsight's 2020. Okay, whatever.
like last night was not okay. Today's not okay. And so with me on the phone, she had walked in and he was dead right where I laid him. Like right where he fell asleep with his phone in his hand. Yeah.
Where I laid him.
What year is this?
And okay, the Wall Street Journal article that came out a couple years ago that I was quoted in it. That I talked to the journalist about this whole saga, and Heidi talked to him as well. The whole article was written as if he was so tortured by Reddit and about, the hate people on the internet talking about him, that he was basically reading the comments as he died. Like his demise was doing cocaine and fentanyl-laced cocaine and reading the Reddit threads about him, and then he passed away. Now it sounds like he was talking to Heidi, which I'm not blaming her for what happened. He's his own person and he made his own choices. But if anyone was more responsible than the Reddit community, it's Heidi for what's going on. Oh, I never saw he had a problem. Oh, I just doxed him when he was in rehab. Oh, I thought he might get a gun and hurt himself, but I didn't think to call anybody to maybe help him out that night. So actually, the phone being on his lap because he's talking to Heidi, if that's the representation of what his demise was, now, am I saying it's her fault? No. But if she's more at fault than the Reddit world, in my opinion.
This was, yeah.
Right before we met.
Right. What month did we meet? Was it like March?
Probably.
Or February?
2023.
So Dave died February 2023.
Wow.
It was right. So when you came over to my house that night, I had like a really incredible, I went upstairs to go wash my hands and go, or something. I was up there for quite a while. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah, I remember.
I had the most, like, it was like this huge, overwhelmingly like spiritual, like letting go of him moment. I remember being like holding the water and just crying up there. And I never even told you guys. It was like this, I felt like I was so connected to his soul still. I was like, if I can't let him go, I felt like his soul was going to feel like it, needed to protect and be with me. And so I had this whole thing where I was like trying, letting him go and say.
Oh yeah. So he wouldn't be with his kids. His soul wouldn't be with his children. He would be helping Heidi. Yeah.
And up in the room.
Well, and sometimes it's just like when you feel that, you just have to embrace it. I don't care if there's people in my house.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
I'm
there's
washing
a party
my hands.
happening downstairs. We were chasing
Start
each other
a new
around.
chapter.
How funny is that?
That was a multifaceted night. That was a very multifaceted night.
It was.
Oh, I love that we can laugh and cry about this at the same time. So
what?
I want to know from your perspective, like these dots that have started to like, I don't know, it's not, there's like a theme in yoga. There's a word called samskara.
Oh.
Where like your life experiences kind of like mark you like a tree, like.
How do you say it? What is it? I like that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking as like you're this beautiful tapestry and this like artwork, and there's these little feathers of like marks on the life that like the lessons of addiction have kind of whirled around this beautiful life that you have. I mean, what have you come to terms with about like what has this meant to you? Like how do you keep positive even when like you've had people taken from you?
You've had people taken from you. What a way to frame her ex-boyfriend overdosed. You've had people taken from you. That's one way to see it, I guess. This actually has nothing to do with her, really, ultimately. This was Dave's demons, Dave's choices, Dave's mistakes, Dave's outcome.
How do you do that?
And I have a lot of people say, like, how the heck can you, like, still be happy and still... But, like, what you just said, samskara, is that what it is? When you said that, I'm like, that's it. That is...
Angela Arnold, thank you so much. Angela Arnold, as always. Angela Arnold says, posted a video of our cows on Kia's Reddit. Okay, I'll look at that. I love to see cows.
It's how I view life. Even my eating disorder and my things that I've done wrong, like I feel like I think the knowing that there's always something I need to learn from every situation, right? Everything, like we are human beings, not put on this planet to do things perfectly. We're not. Like, and I think religion fucks us all up and makes us think that we are. We are all, like, we are human beings put on this planet to have a human experience, which is, I don't even want to call it messing up. I was telling someone the other day, it's not like doing things wrong or messing up. I think that's religion telling us, like in putting shame into us. I don't
does
think
it like connotate malintent.
Yeah. And that like, I think we're meant to, I was meant to have an eating disorder. Like anyone out there right now who's struggling with alcohol. I fully believe every single person is, I'll get emotional, but is exactly where they're supposed to be. They are in the struggle that they are meant to conquer. All it is like, it's something that is there to remind us and show us and teach us how strong we are. But I think we have to be willing to accept that first before we can get all the way through it. Like, I think we can white knuckle, we can get through things.
Good point, Soapy Lulu. Religion fucks people up, but her son is on a mission. Yeah, her oldest son is on a Mormon mission. And when she posts about that, it's like the best thing ever. So interesting. Yeah, that's living in two realities in her mind.
A little bit, but until we're like, until we get to the place where we can say, oh my gosh, I'm not only worthy and lovable, even with these scars or these things, I'm worthy and lovable because of the scars that I have. Like, I love my life so much more. I don't love that Dave's not here. I don't love how that pain must be for him. I don't love thinking about the pain that my dad must have felt too. I don't love that. I don't love the people who I have hurt outside of addiction. In other ways, I've hurt a lot of people in my life. I don't love the pain that I caused, but I love so much who I've become because of all of the pain and the lessons. Like, watching, like, me hurting somebody, it's like knowing that I hurt someone is like one of the hardest, most painful lessons that I can learn, you know?
We have so much in common. But isn't it an honoring of them when you take what you've done, the pain that you've caused someone else, and I'm speaking from my perspective, and actually use it to grow, become a better person, recognize it, and not just, you know, I think that's honoring.
Yeah.
Those people that had to suffer for us to become better people.
And then I hope, because I've been hurt by a lot of people too, sexually and physically, I've been hurt by a lot of people, right? And I don't cast judgment. I don't do anything but like thank the person for what they did because it helped me grow.
What? Yeah, car outside. You're thanking the person who sexually hurt you because it helped her grow. Okay, that mindset is toxic and hurtful. And speaking of religion, like, that sounds like it came right out of a religious cult leader's, Bible. Like, hey, if I've sexually assaulted you, it's to help you learn. That is a very hot take. I kind of want to hear it again to reflect, because what the fuck?
And then I hope, because I've been hurt by a lot of people too, sexually and physically, I've been hurt by a lot of people, right? And I don't cast judgment. I don't do anything but like thank the person for what they did because it helped me grow.
No, I'm sorry. No. You can do both. Both can be true at once. You can cast judgment on the person who's hurt you, and you can also be thankful that you overcame it and were strong enough to. They are not a zero-sum game. And I hate this black and white thinking of, well, if I'm upset, then that means that I'm triggered by it or I'm not strong enough. No. You can be both. And you don't have to thank the abuser for making you stronger. That's crazy. That is, I feel like, the gaslighting that sounds like maybe her parents instilled in her. But she needs to talk to a therapist to figure it out, because if that's what she really believes, she should not be assisting people with their mental health. I mean, she shouldn't do that anyways, but helping people heal and you believe that, thank your abuser. Are you out of your fucking mind? No.
I hope, but that's not my journey. I do hope that the people who've been hurt along my path have the same perspective of, oh my gosh, I'm so glad all of that happened the way it did, because I wouldn't be as strong or as loved.
Not everything has to have a happy fucking ending. Not everything has to be. And then I figured it out. I solved the puzzle. I put the jigsaw piece right where it belonged. And now I am totally millionaire status boss babe. Perfect. And everything that brought me here has just figured itself out. And now I'm living my best life. That's what they self-help people want you to believe. If you just show up to their seminar, will happen to your life. But that's not real life. Get a grip. Not everything has to be solved to be truthful. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't have to have a happy ending for it to be a part of your life.
Loving or compassionate or empathetic as I am, if I'd not been in that situation with Heidi, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
We're a little too alike. I don't know what your and Ryan's future is. But
he's so great.
Maybe when I'm in town,
yeah.
I can take you on a date or three.
That would be fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's get down. Is there anything that you're like, I think people need to know this piece of wisdom that I have? Or I think I really need to speak on this?
You know, I don't know if it's any wisdom that I have that people need to know. I think the thing people need to know, though, is that so this necklace right here, they're letters, and it says, everything I need is within me. And that's been my biggest hurdle in my life, is trusting that every single...
Well, apparently not. Apparently, actually, you need to be abused by someone else to give you the things that you need, is what you're saying. And victims should be appreciative of their abusers, is what you said.
The thing I need is actually within me. All of the wisdom I already possess, all of the wisdom is accessible through me.
Okay, so then why do you need to be hurt by people? She's contradicting herself immediately.
To get the help that I need, not to say anything can be done alone, because we had the conversation. You need support, but like the intuition to know who to have around you, who to support, when the right time is to get help. It all exists within us. And it doesn't matter if people believe in religion or God or spirit or universe or their own power, whatever it is. Like, I actually think that only through me can I channel or feel or get the answers that I'm meant to have. And I believe that those answers, which whether it's leading you to a person, Lindsay, this podcast, if anyone is watching, you were led to this podcast to get the help that you need to get. And so I think just trusting your own power is the most important bit of wisdom I have struggled to embrace and am finally doing. It's changed my life.
And sometimes I think the dark spots.
How can you have every podcast and announce something? This changed my life. Ketamine changed my life. Remembering that I am my own sovereign being changed my life. Okay, girl, we get it.
For us just disconnecting from what we already know. We already have these deep truths within us, and sometimes there are obstacles in the path, and the obstacles are the path.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
You don't want them to be.
Yeah. But
Same
they
reason
are.
I didn't want to go to treatment. I'm like, FOMO, other people are out living their life. I have to go get help. No. But really, the obstacles are the path.
Yeah.
And it is all within you. That's a really great reminder, and I'm going to need that necklace.
But I love that the obstacles are the path, because it is like everything I need is within me, but also that doesn't mean you be closed-minded. And so I love that ad, because it's like stay open-minded, stay open to what answers and surprises and beauty exists beyond the.
I need to answer this question, Emily. Is there a filter on the host's face? If there's not, there's Vaseline on the camera lens, so I'm going to assume yes.
Pain.
And you know what? The pain.
Yeah.
I am grateful for the pain too. to, because there are people who, I don't think they're bad people, but there are people who brought out the worst in me.
Yeah, I was just in that relationship.
The nasty parts of myself. There's a lot of things that I became recently that I'm like, oh, that's not who I am. So I'm actually very grateful for the fire, because it burned away a lot of stuff.
I love
We got
that.
to toss away the stuff.
Yeah, we did. We were like in it at the same time.
I love you. Thank you for
love
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Is there going to be a conclusion here? We had like a 40-minute intro. No. Okay. Now let's listen to Rachel Hollis. Is your man letting himself go? How to get your man to dress better without nagging. Our gurus are just so knowledgeable on all subjects all the time. Wow. What a full circle we've come. Man. Wowzers. Okay. Now you've made it. That was quite a lot of tea. Nothing crazy new, and I'm sure she'll tell a version of the story again, and it'll have another little tidbit of information that's new, and this will keep happening over and over, but nothing drastically new. But guns mentioned, that's new. The name of the nanny, new. The fact that she knew for sure that he was gonna pass, and all of that. I guess that's all hot piping tea stuff. I feel sad for him. I feel sad for her. I feel sad for the kids. I feel sad for Rachel, everyone involved. But the way they're handling all of this is odd to me. Odd and confusing, and at odds with their elevated, enlightened claims about themselves. So my story. Speaking of fentanyl, sorry. Speaking of fentanyl, I had a colonoscopy this week, and they did actually give me fentanyl as part of that procedure. And it was really inspired by, and I'm going to show you my video and my image, okay? And I look really, really good in both of them, so just beware. Okay, this is the first picture. Hold on. That I took getting this procedure. It looked like I'm in heaven. Hold on. I was like, whoa. If I post this online anywhere, people are gonna think I've passed to the other side. So I was inspired by Jessie Lee Ward's story. She took she got a MRI scan and then got a colonoscopy and then found out she had cancer. James Vanderbeek did the colonoscopy, found out he had cancer. And so I had one symptom in particular. I won't give you the details because it's TMI, but I had a symptom and I thought I better get checked. I talked to my doctor and basically left it to them. Like, well, do you think this is something I should be concerned about or not? And she sent me to a gastro person. That doctor said, yeah, let's just be safe. Most likely you're fine, but it's always good to double check, and we'll put you on the list. Like, you're not an emergency case, but we'll put you on the list to do it. And so that's how I did it. So I went in Tuesday afternoon, and it was fairly simple. I recommend everyone that is 45 and up. That's like the recommended, if you don't have symptoms or don't have family history, that's when you should start going and getting regular checks every few years. It wasn't that bad. The worst part is the prep, which is you have to drink, at least I did, a gallon of water with stuff in it, right? Powdered water that's got laxative in it. And you have to basically clean out your entire colon, and you can't eat for at least 2 days. And the days leading up to that, you're supposed to be on a specialized diet. So it was quite the pain in the ass. But I almost didn't go through with it because I got there and they said, well, when did you last take the prep? And I said an hour ago. And they're like, oh no, you're supposed to be 2 hours without taking it. And I was like, please don't send me home, please. I didn't say that out loud, but in my head, I was like, please don't send me home and I have to go do this again. And so then they said, okay, we'll let you sit here for an hour, basically. And the second time I almost left was they were trying to put in the IV into my arm, and it didn't work. And she did it again, didn't work. Then they finally got it in my hand. But the first 2 times that was like painful. And she was like, I'm looking for your vein. I'm like, oh my God, this is a sign from the universe that I need to leave. But then I just sucked it up and did it. And yeah, they gave me fentanyl and some other drug. And at least for me, I was only in twilight anesthesia. So I was awake, but I was just feeling kind of like chill. And then it was over.
I'm emotional right now.
I'm getting emotional right now too. And I'm 100% clean, clear, and under control. So here's my video recorded message that I recorded for all of you and will use in the future. And this is before I had any of the medicine. So this is just sober me trying to be funny. Here we go.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
So if I need to start a GoFundMe and just not give any details, that's the video I will be using. And this was a joke that if you watch one of my first videos that I ever post on this channel, there's a woman who posted that song over and over and over again of her in the hospital.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that was my inside joke to myself. So because it's also people who just are constantly in the hospital, they always are singing that song. Before I someone just disliked the stream, I'm sorry. Colonoscopy talk too much. That's where I took it too far. I understand. Amy LX8RN, thank you as always, and thank you again so much. I always appreciate you. Amy says, my life school tip: stop being over dramatic and making up problems. Take a nap. There, your life is better now. Send me $5,000. That's how much Heidi's special group was at one point. The VIP group was $5,000. $5,000, she said, but she was like, I don't know what the price is, but then it was listed at $5,000. So that's a good price, Amy. That's the perfect price for Betty's monk training school.
It is what it is.
True. This is what I have to say to $5,000.
We are not an MLM company. We're not a network marketing company. We're not a get-rich-quick scheme.
That's what you can put in your advertising to make sure people know that you're not those things. They will definitely believe it.
It's not $5,000. It's not $2,000. It's not $10,000. It's a lot of money.
True.
That's suspiciously like $500.
Amy. That's all I have to say. Amy. And also, welcome to Mel. LO5LX. Is that Mel Robbins? Are you Mel Robbins joining the group? Are you going to steal all my secrets and then monetize it for yourself?
Little things like a private jet.
A great deal of wealth is appropriate for me.
That's what Mel Robbins thinks. Faux show. Okay. Yeah. Was I high? Yes, very temporarily. I was high at the doctor's office, or I guess the hospital outpatient facility, for I think a total of 1 hour. And I actually had to ask for more because I was feeling it. I was like, ow. I felt like a cramp in my stomach when they were first fishing around in there. And so I said, ow. And then they gave me more. And then I was fine. Then I was feeling fine. But yes, I do recommend it. I think it's worth it. It is a pain in the ass, haha, but it is worth it. And I think I was very nervous that I was going to have, some life-changing news. And I was hoping that I did not, that was not the outcome. Even though the doctor seemed very not worried about it. The fact that they were allowing me to go and get the procedure, I was like, well, maybe they're just like hiding how serious this could be. But I'm glad that I went through with it and didn't leave and didn't trust my universal signs that I should walk out, because then I would be nervous and not knowing that I'm all good. Okay, well, that's that. I have some videos in the works. You want to get a preview? I got some videos in the works. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, look at this. I got reading material. I got things to read for a video. And just for my own general knowledge of what these kooks are talking about. I like to know the source material's right there. If you want to know what a Scientologist believes, you got to start with the first-hand accounts. So that's happening. So that video will be coming, once I'm not going to read the book first to come out with the video, but I just want to give a little peek around and get a lay of the land, Dianetics land, to see what the heck they're talking about. And I'm not joining Scientology, just so you know, unless it's really good, and then all bets are off. I have a mind to be molded. I have a malleable mind that is ready for information. And then what else can I say? Taro has been in her donut house. She was on my feet for a while. Now she's in her donut house. She's doing great. And she just decided not to grace us with her presence today, which is so sad. So sad.
Why am I so emotional?
I am not emotionally stable. I cried in Ocean.
So yeah. Anyways. That's it, I think. Yeah. And then we'll come back hopefully next week, the Rise conference podcast video or wrap up or whatever will be posted, and then we can talk about that too. So if you're here for the Hollisville content, you should have more Hollisville content ASAP. If it comes before Thursday of next week, maybe we can have 2 streams next week. I'm a crazy gal. I don't know. We might be able to do it. But okay, time to sing the song. Thank you so much. Yeah, Grant Cardone is a Scientologist. Elizabeth Moss, right, from Handmaid's Tale, ironically, is a Scientologist. There is a woman on SNL who apparently is a Scientologist. So there's lots of celebs that are still Scientologists, John Travolta. But my video is going to be about the new influencers who are Scientologists. So Scientologist influencers. It's a new genre. There's one guy who's very attractive, unfortunately. And it's a shame because he is very good looking and yet uses his good looks to try to honeypot people into joining a weird organization, which is never fun. Okay, time to sing. Good night. Goodbye. Good luck. New song alert. New song alert. Starry Nights EXE. Can you have some cheese for me? Cheesy Cheetos. Maybe a burrito. Nicole Campbell. What do you have against Yankee Candle? Why do you protest outside of the store? I need to know more. A console. Do you like CHappell Roan or no? Do you think she lived in a ritzy trailer park? Or do you think she lived in a mansion? I guess we'll never know. Alaska but tundra. Do you frequent the Big Booty Club? It's the biggest club in town, and it's the way you can twerk it out. The Big Booty Club. No doubt. Lillian Massey. Shake your assy at the Big Booty Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Big Booty Club. That's where I wanna be. Rabba Gabor. Can you count 1, 2, 3? I knew you could do it. You are so good at math and counting up 3 amounts. So impressive. That's right. Rubba Gabor. Did you ever get a colonoscopy and have to drink your prep? Let me know. Rebeled Fuentes. I got a Papa John's pizza. After my procedure, it was so good. I weirdly got pineapple and mushroom. I've never had that pairing before, but it felt fitting for some reason. And I also got an Oreo cannoli the next day. I just went crazy. Rebeled, no, I already said your name, Rebeled Fuentes. Now I'm going to Leaf Madison. I think I wanted Papa John's because I have a childhood memory of having Papa John's when I was at tennis camp. It was 50 cents a slice, and it was so good after playing tennis all day and all night. Merva Bell too. Did you know they have spicy garlic sauce now? They have the regular garlic that you get for free with every pizza purchase. But you can also add on spicy garlic, and I recommend it. Hannah, Lulu 7. I also got the chicken tendies that they have at Papa John's. And I got some ranch sauce for that. I love Papa John's. It's my favorite corporate pizza place. Olive Harper. Did you know there's a lot of lore when it comes to Papa John himself? I forget his first name, but his last name's Shatner. Maybe it's John. That would make sense. He was crazy for a while and had crazy voice memos, but I started the channel after that all happened. Maya Sloan, do you want me to go back and talk about it at some point? It was something I followed on the H3 podcast. That's when the H3 podcast was really, really, really good. I haven't watched it in a while, so I can't vouch for it now. Bone Palace Ballet 94. I used to own a Teddy Fresh sweater, but no more. But only because it was too big from the start. And I had to move out of the state. And I didn't want to carry it with me in the U-Haul. Healing Relat, what do you think about that? When I moved here, I got a U-Haul cube. It was cheaper than all the other methods. In case you were wondering, Shanna, my life goal one day is to move without having to do it myself. Hey! Wouldn't that be so nice? Not having to carry boxes up 4 flights of stairs by yourself. Yeah! Gracie Charles loves cats. Gracie Charlie loves cats. I would like that. And by that I mean pay someone to move my stuff from one place to another. But I am cheap. And I am not financially secure enough to do it without guilt and regret. Amen to that. Okay. Yes, order pizza. I highly recommend. Papa John's. Papa John's. Tell them Kia sent you. And enjoy. Peace, love, and pizza.